Tonight here from Oklahoma City, yes, the defending champion, Oklahoma City Thunder, the opposition, the Wizards and Oklahoma City Thunder. And Bilal Coulibaly returns from his thumb injury. He is in uniform. He will be on court tonight for the Washington Wizards. More on that coming up. Now, Tuesday night, the Wizards, a loss to the Philadelphia 76ers. It was in overtime. Now, all 5 Wizards starters were in double figures. 8 players overall for the Wizards in double figures, led by Alex Sarr. He had 31 points, 11 rebounds, and, of course, a couple of blocks. Grimes, left elbow drive and got around McCollum. That's blocked by Sarr. Getting the block ball. Mona left to the top of the key, saving it for the Sixers. 8 on the clock. Edgecombe, left wing outside the arc for 3 off the back of the iron. No. Rebound Middleton. Yes, Alex Sarr continues to be a strong rim protector with a simple philosophy.
Yeah, I think you got to go every time. Like me, that's what I have to do is go every time, no matter if I get dunked on or. But the mindset is just I go to block the shot every time that I can, and if I block it, great. If I don't, I'll probably alter it and change the way he's going to shoot it, and that's going to be a good outcome for us.
Now, Sarr on the night also had 2 steals and 5 assists. The way he's become a pass master for this Wizards team needs to be noted. He's averaging about 5 assists a game.
Yeah, I think just having the ball more in like the elbow flash area kind of allows me to I can see the court from there and make decisions, make passes, and I just gotta hit the open guy. Sometimes it's like just a handoff and the teammate makes a great play or a great shot. So yeah.
How much of it as well too is conversations with Bub, Keyshawn, CJ, or Chris, just about when you're working in that pick and roll or pick and pop action with them and they get you that pass in that flash area. Are you having those conversations with them about what you're seeing and kind of how they're going to cut off of you, of where they're going to go as well?
Yeah, we kind of do have those conversations like mid-game, depending on how they're guarding. So, like Chris will come up to me and tell me something I can do when I'm handing him the ball, or if it's Bub or Keyshawn. Just having those conversations and making sure we're on the same page, and just get rolling.
And they're getting on the same page. And to be in that overtime game against the Philadelphia 76ers, Keyshawn George.
I mean, there's nothing better than playing a basketball game, a real basketball game, to get better. And it's all good to run the play easily in practice and like that. But when the game's on the line, it's a little bit different. And I think we have strides to do in that direction, and it was good to experience that in the game.
Now tonight, another big challenge. The defending champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Head coach Brian Keefe is next when we continue on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Back with Glenn Consular, and we're in Oklahoma City, home of the defending champions, a city Brian Keefe knows very much about, spent part of his career here. Hey, we just, a year ago, we just played a highlight of Bilal Coulibaly shutting down Trae Young. You have the possession, final possession, you get your first win against the Atlanta Hawks, 121-119, and he was just saying the other day that he's going to be eager to come back and help put some pressure on the perimeter. Well, he is coming back. He is in the starting lineup tonight, and there will be some defensive challenges.
Yeah, I'm excited to have him back. Always, he's been out for a little bit here with an injury, but great to have him. It's always fun to have him. Bilal's been with us for a few years now, so it's just terrific to see him back on the court.
And he really is emblematic of the versatility you have on defense. While he was not in, we saw Keyshawn George getting those kind of assignments. So as a coach, is that a luxury?
Yeah, it's great to have versatility on our team defensively. We have that. Guys who can guard multiple positions. Obviously, Bilal's a terrific defender, so we're thrilled to have him back in the lineup.
Alex Sarr's been playing at a high level. Some of the things that he's doing this year, big improvement over last year. What are you seeing exactly?
I love that he's protecting the rim. That's one of the best things he's been doing. That's number one for us, is always his defense. But you're starting to see him putting pressure on the rim offensively, finishing around, attacking, getting to the free throw line, and obviously you're seeing the playmaking too. So just continuing to grow early in the season, but I've been very pleased with Alex.
OKC is a team that obviously defending champs. They defend very well. They pack it in, take away the paint. What are some of your objectives?
continue to play the style we want. Always plays first, get stops, and get out in transition. But we have to share the ball. Obviously, it's a good defensive team. Just make the simple play, hit the open man tonight.
All right, keep it simple. Best of luck. Jets head coach Brian Keefe. More in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
Are you ready for it?
Dave Johnson back with Glenn Conso. Very colorful game tonight because the Thunder are in blue with the orange and white trim, white numbers. The Wizards are in red with the blue numbers and the white trim, the white lettering for the name. So not often, once upon a time it was shirts and skins, right?
No, not anymore.
Now you have two solid colors.
Hey, look, Bilal Coulibaly comes back, Dave. First assignment. When he comes back, he will be defending Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the get-go.
And, Keyshawn George, in his absence, was defending often the best player. Now Sarr, top of the arc, hands off to Middleton. Working left to right, left elbow. Feed just outside the restrict arc. Sarr, no, but the rebound, Middleton. Middleton fades left, block, bank, and score. So 2-0. The Wizards christen the game. Everyone standing here at Paycom Center for the first Thunder basket. Now working right to left, Aaron Wiggins. Hartenstein, right at the top of the key. Couple dribbles. Hands off Cason Wallace, driving to the basket. High off the glass. No. Hartenstein, the rebound. Couple pump fakes. Bank, no. And Sarr battles the rebound with Cason Wallace. He gets it out to Gilgeous-Alexander for three. In and out. Rebound now ricochets into the corner. Lou Dort collects it. Wow, they're getting their chances. Gilgeous-Alexander, left elbow, slowed by the combination of McCollum and George. Throws it down to Hartenstein. Double team. Right wing outside the arc. Cason Wallace, no. Got to get that rebound. No. Lou Dort gets it.
Wow.
Alex Sarr was trying to chase it down. Gilgeous-Alexander left of the lane, guarded by Sarr. Rock of the cradle, back and forth. 6 on the clock. Baseline left jumper over. Sarr is good. Well, I think that's about fourth time to charm. 2-2, Thunder and Wizards.
That was more than a second chance opportunity.
Right elbow, Sarr, top of the arc, Middleton for three, in and out. Wanted to go down, did not. 5-2. Pardon me. 2-2 our score. Gilgeous-Alexander right elbow drives. They put 5 up on the board for the Wizards. It didn't go in. And a bank shot by Cason Wallace, no good. Sarr gets a rebound.
These mystery jumbotrons are haunting you. This is all about what they do to you.
George, left corner for three. Now you can put the 5 up. He's got it. 5-2 Wizards on top. But that was at Capital One the other night. They were messing with the score. Gilgeous-Alexander drive. Jab step. Feeds to his right at the right elbow. Little jump hook by Hartenstein. No good. Gets his own rebound. Weaves inside. Denied by Sarr. In the right corner, Gilgeous-Alexander. They work it back out front. Gilgeous-Alexander edge of the circle. Left elbow, left block, throws it in the right corner to Aaron Wiggins, and he ran out of real estate in that corner.
We're going to have to watch the rebounds, Dave, because right now there's a 5-1 advantage. All of a sudden, OKC's got 5 offensive rebounds already. How much time has kicked off?
It felt like they had 4 in that one position. 5-2 Wizards. Alex Sarr on the left wing working left to right. Running by Hartenstein. Feeds cutting Middleton. Reverse layup score. Nice cut on the baseline. 7-2 the Wizards early lead. 9:35 to go. Now up front, Gilgeous-Alexander off a screen. Left elbow. Now down low. Left block. Wiggins circles into the paint. Bounce pass. Hartenstein, right elbow. Hartenstein edges into the paint to the restricted arc. Knocked loose by Coulibaly and Sarr. It went off Coulibaly. But Coulibaly and Sarr were doing a good job of harassing Hartenstein. 7-2 Wizards. 9:18 to go, first quarter. Baseline right now. The inbound, Cason Wallace. Wallace in the right corner. Wiggins for 3 off the back of the iron. Long rebound. Get it. Yeah. Keyshawn George gets it, and he goes. Going up court. Going on. Gilgeous-Alexander lost the dribble. Lou Dort steals it away. He tried a behind-the-back dribble. Lou Dort waited for it. Hartenstein now. Top of the arc. On the right wing now. Wallace driving. Trailing Hartenstein with Al Stuff. Isaiah Hartenstein. A lot of Stein on that. 7-4. And the Wizards on top. 8:53 to go. First quarter of play. Alex Sarr, top of the arc, hands off to Middleton. Lou Dort stays with him. Now left wing outside the arc. Coulibaly, welcome back, but off the back of the iron. Hartenstein, the rebound. 7-4 Wizards. Wallace, top of the arc, probes, left elbow, driving, and as he drove, Middleton will get called for the foul.
Well, if the name Wiggins is ringing a bell for you, all listeners out there, that is, in fact, Aaron Wiggins, who played at Maryland. and he has really solidified his role here. And that's nice to see.
Hartenstein, top of the arc, right at the top of the key. Now the aforementioned Aaron Wiggins, guarded by Keyshawn George, pokes it away, gets it back as Wiggins. Edge of the circle, Gilgeous-Alexander. Back out front, Wiggins. Behind the back dribble, right elbow, drives right side of the lane, and no and one, but draws a foul on Keyshawn George. So his twin consort shares some flowers in Wiggins' direction. He's going to the free throw line.
You heard me.
8:21 to go here, first quarter of play. Hey, unlike the old-time radio, Stephen Powers has tweeted out, good to have you on board tonight, Willis Street. Sam says his formula is E equals MC squared. It's all about energy, speed, and sharp shooting threes. Matt's in Roseville, California. Nats bandwagon has jumped on the bandwagon tonight, and the key is to have fun as Wiggins makes the free throw. Wizards have lost 6 straight to the Oklahoma City Thunder. That shouldn't come as a surprise, though. They've become an elite team in the NBA. 7-6, both free throws made. 8:20 to go, first quarter. That's with Coulibaly back in. Center circle, George goes to drive, jab, step back, 3 off the back of the iron, no. And the rebound comes out to the elbow, Cason Wallace. Wallace starting with J-Dub out with a wrist injury. Jalen Williams at J-Dub. Hash mark left wing, Gilgeous-Alexander foul line to the basket. Feeds Hartenstein behind him. Jump hook is blocked by Alex Sarr. Sarr protects the rim. George got the ball ahead to Coulibaly. Right elbow, driving. Right corner, Middleton. Feeds Sarr in the paint to the basket. Flips up the shot, no. Second effort, no. Gets his rebound, but stripped the ball by Cason Wallace. Would have been a great finish. 7-6. Wizards out front now. Wiggins spins in the lane. Hartenstein at the foul line. 7:33 to go, first quarter. Hartenstein's pass goes into the backcourt. There'll be a backcourt violation as he went to throw it behind Gilgeous-Alexander. Well, he accomplished that, but it went into the backcourt.
What I'm seeing early this game is they're getting paint touches, OKC, and then they're dropping off dimes to a cutting Hartenstein. He is the guy that they're looking for on the cuts because Alex is helping.
Hash mark on the left wing, George. Pass out front, Sarr. Back to George. Right elbow, driving into Hartenstein. Throws on the wing, Coulibaly. Broke it up. Coulibaly gets it back. Out to McCollum for 3 off the rim. Long rebound comes out to Wiggins. Wiggins working right to left. Goes to Coulibaly. Jump step. Gets in the lane. Coulibaly, the spot. Now in transition, McCollum driving, and he is fouled by Cason Wallace. How about Coulibaly getting back and denying?
Well, now you really can see the versatility of this team when Coulibaly is on the floor. He's 6'7". He was the one that got back and did a great job. But the switchability of all these guys, Chris Middleton, Keyshawn George, Bilal now, and Alex, those guys, it doesn't matter who they're guarding. They're all going to get back on defense. They could switch, pick and roll switch, dribble handoff switch.
8-6 as McCollum makes the free throw, and that's what we talked with Brian Keefe about. I mean, you think about, Bob Carrington, the way he set the tone defensively in the win over Dallas from the start. Yes, the foundation is on defense. Both free throws made, 9-6. The Wizards on top. Gilgeous-Alexander right of the circle, left the circle. Wiggins guarded by George. Here comes in a low road. Gilgeous-Alexander back left wing. Wiggins, he has a look from 3. It's off the rim. Here's a long rebound. Coulibaly chases it down, racing up court. Elbow to the basket. Oh, slam to hands. Welcome back, Bilal. His first 2 points. And emphatic 11-6 Wizards on top.
You know who he looked like there on that defensive play? It looked like Sean Marion. Stepping in the passing lanes and pushing the ball up the floor. Boy, it's good to have Bilal back to see what he can do on defense.
The Matrix, Sean Marion. All right, hey, Truxton Circle. We're okay now that Navy Mo is checked in. And Jonathan Steele, yes, he's Mr. Multitask. Always. The Ravens are on top. I think the Ravens are playing the Dolphins. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Trevor is with his dad tonight, and they're listening. And, yeah, make it a family affair. We're back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Why not think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs? Get the parts and services you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Robinhood brings you the official numbers. Official stats brought to you by Robinhood, the official brokerage and jersey patch partner of the Wizards. Wizards off to an 11-6 advantage on the Thunder The Wizards with that advantage, even though they're only shooting 4 of 12. The Thunder, though, 2 of 13. But the Wizards, good to have Bilal Coulibaly back. He has a block. He just scored his first 2 points. In fact, Coulibaly has now been credited with 2 blocks. Alex Starr already has a block. So, again, the right intensity from this Wizards team.
Well, Dave, think about this. When you have perimeter defenders, look, you have Alex inside to protect the paint. But now you have 4 really good perimeter defenders in C.J. McCollum, Bilal Coulibaly, Keyshawn, and Chris Middleton. And those guys are interchangeable. So you really can see it. Like, we're seeing what they can do defensively. Get out, shrink the court, step in the passing lanes, crowd the middle, make it tough.
All right, 6:45 to go. First quarter play, Thunder ball. Gilgeous-Alexander will bring it up right to left for the Thunder. Jalen Williams is in the game. As again, I mentioned, J-Dub is injured. Wiggins left wing outside the arc. Out front now, Gilgeous-Alexander in the corner to Dort. Steps to his left, shoots a 3, and he springs it. A smooth shot. 11-9 Wizards. McCollum. Paycom center logo on the right side. Left the center circle. Coulibaly left the top of the key. Alex Sarr hands out to McCollum. McCollum on the dribble. Started by Wallace. For Sarr, it's broken up by Jalen Williams. It goes in the backcourt. Sarr grabs it. 5 on the clock. Now Sarr attacks, spins, falls down, loose ball. That spin move didn't work so well. And Gilgeous-Alexander working right to left for the Thunder. They have a chance to tie. 5:55 to go first quarter. Off a screen. Driving to the basket. Flips up the shot and 1. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finds his way, and Alex Starr bumped into him as he got to the rack. 11-all the score. He will go to the free throw line.
Boy, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you give him an inch, he's going to take a foot. He blows by that first line, and by the time Alex Starr got there, and he did get there late, he was able to finish. He's a straight line driver, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. One of the best, if not the best player in the NBA, getting to his spots, whether it's at the rim or a step-back move. So efficient.
Coulibaly and Middleton go out. Trey Johnson and Bub Carrington come in. As the free throw made by Gilgeous-Alexander. 12-11 Thunder. A.J. Mitchell has also come off the Thunder bench, working left to right. Carrington. Left to circle George. Now, left wing outside the arc, out front. It's Sarr. Hands off to Carrington. To a cutting Sarr. It's broken up by Isaiah Joe, who's also into the game, and that's one way to make yourself known. And to the circle, Gilgeous-Alexander cuts to his left. Left at the top of the key. Guarded by Sarr. Drives. Euro step in the paint. Tries to go reverse. Sarr defends well. Rebound bobbled around, but McCollum comes up with it. McCollum goes around Joe. Runner in the lane. In and out. Oh, he threw it up. A teardrop runner that we're crying about. 12-11 to score. Now Mitchell driving. Feeds in the right corner. Dort. Jalen Williams. Right elbow. Gilgeous-Alexander on the right wing, 10 on the clock. Bounce pass in the corner. Mitchell ball fake. He drives. Joe left wing. Man out front. Open for 3. Dort off the rim. George swats the rebound to Sarr's direction as he had Jalen Williams breathing on his back. 4:54 to go here, first quarter. Carrington, edge of the circle. Right wing outside the arc. Keyshawn George. George cuts to his left. Foul line. Edges in the paint. Puts up a shot over Mitchell and scores.
Love that.
Now got inside the foul line, and Keyshawn George puts the Wizards back on top, 13-12.
I think that move by Keyshawn reminds me of Shai Gilgeous. Little step back, draw contact.
Gilgeous tries, throws up a shot, doesn't draw contact, misses. Sarr the rebound. Right wing McCollum. McCollum on the dribble out front. Little step back 3 off the rim. No, Sarr keeps the rebound alive, but it's collected by Gilgeous-Alexander. Weaving through traffic. Gilgeous-Alexander driving on McCollum. Into the stick in our bank and scores. He slithers around McCollum. He is smooth. 14-13. Thunder. George, hash mark left wing, down low left block, Carrington, and we've got whistles. I think it's timeout. Okay.
Dave, you know what I love about Shai's game? Look, he's the MVP of the league. There's not a lot of wiggle in his game. There's not a lot of mustard. There's not a lot of fanciness. He just makes quick, efficient crossover, change direction moves. It's really beautiful to watch.
I got a scoring title last year. Yes. All right. Check it if you like at Dave Gay Sports Ackland. Concert more from Paycom Center in the great city of Oklahoma City with our engineer Britt Lockhart. We're always glad to see Britt. I think we're going to get him to run for mayor. Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Trey Johnson back with Glenn Consor. Yes, Britt Lockhart. We checked. That's really his name. You would think it would be a stage name because Britt's a good Oklahoma City name. You know, like the gunfighters used to have. You know,
we have Britt Waters though.
Well, that's true in DC.
DC, yeah.
But Britt is very much a guy. You know, X9's checking in eating dinner. I want to point this out. I knew I was in Oklahoma City last night. Usually my go-to meal on the road is a salmon Caesar salad. Now, this would not be the place to get a salmon. But you know what they had on the menu? Brisket.
Yeah.
Brisket Caesar salad.
I had that for lunch.
Well, I had it for lunch, too. I loved it so much. But this is the only city, I think, in North America you can get brisket Caesar salad.
Yep.
It was amazing.
It's kind of like going for a run and then smoking a cigar.
Well, it was good. It was good. So I might just come back to Oklahoma City for the brisket. All right, you got your pen out. Neither team is shooting well.
No, both teams shooting, Wizards shooting 33%, OKC 26%. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 3 of 6, already has 7 points, and it looks like he's finding his rhythm, and that's dangerous for the Wizards. They got to disrupt him, get the ball out of his hands, then deny it. Don't let him get it back.
Boy, I wish my name was Britt. Nobody gets excited about Dave. George, left sideline, out front to Trey Johnson.
Or Johnson for that matter.
No, that's true. Now Bagley left double, driving to the basket. Bank, no. As Jalen Williams defended him well. He avoided the block, but missed the layup. Gilgeous-Alexander spins into the paint. Behind him, Jay Will. Now just to his left, a three-point attempt is missed by Isaiah Joe, and getting the rebound, George. 14-13 Thunder. Right corner, Carrington for 3. No. Rebound ricochets out to Kispert on the wing. Kispert, cross court to Carrington. Hash mark on the right wing. Carrington, top of the arc. Step back 3 off the rim, no. And the Thunder, Gilgeous-Alexander collects. 3:29 to go, first quarter of play. Now Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the right wing. Guarded by Trey Johnson. Welcome to the NBA. Foul line. Shoots over Trey Johnson and 1. Johnson got him on the arm. 16-13. Thunder go on top.
So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's eyes lit up when he saw Trey Johnson. This is a welcome to the NBA moment. As soon as Trey defended him, he went right at him with the little step-back game and nailed it. Learning moment, teaching moment.
And Gilgeous-Alexander a chance three-point play. Hey, Joyce has our sound up, but she's watching Norfolk State and Delaware State in football. And Joyce, you got to help me out here. I know Michael Vick is coaching one of those schools, and Delaware State, another big name. And this mind's escaping me. The name's escaping me. The mind's already escaped me. Now Trey Johnson, Paycom Center logo out front to Bagley, right at the top of the game. Bagley foul line, pass on the wing is deflected by A.J. Mitchell. It was intended for Corey Kispert. 17-13, Thunder on top. 3:02 to go, first quarter of play. Ryan Keefe spent many years in this building as an assistant with Scott Brooks.
As did general manager Will Dawkins.
On the right sideline, Carrington. And out front, Cam Whitmore's in. Top of the arc, Bagley working left to right, hands off Kispert. Bounce past Bagley, gets away from him. Mitchell comes up with it. Mitchell center circle, ridden by Carrington. Right wing outside the arc, Joe for 3, drains it. And suddenly the Thunder up 20-13. And they take advantage of turnovers. Edge of the circle now, Carrington. Hash mark left wing. Johnson, foul line drive. Stumbles in the lane, draws a foul. Again, Trey Johnson, no fear. No fear.
0. He's going to go at you. It doesn't matter.
A.J. Mitchell gets called for the foul.
I was talking to an NBA scout, actually from the Trailblazers, before the game. And he was telling me at Texas, as a freshman, he had no fear. He steps into the NBA, no fear. He's going to go at you.
Makes the free throw. Heather McDonough's on her way to College Park, see an old college friend, and she'll be cheering for Aaron Wiggins a little bit tonight, former Terrapin. 2015, both free throws made. Working right to left. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander crosses midcourt, guarded by Carrington. Top of the arc, Jalen Williams for 3 off the back of the iron. No rebound battle. A.J. Mitchell swatted at it, but couldn't collect. It goes out of play. 2:28 to go in the first quarter of play. Cam Whitmore in with Carrington, Kispert, Bagley, and Trey Johnson. The lineup is. Ryan Keefe has different rotations to go with. Left wing Johnson. Now from Carrington, edge of the circle. Whitmore, hash mark on the right wing. Rocking the cradle, top of the key, foul line. Gets in the paint, 14-footer, too strong. Bagley grabs the rebound. The putback, bang, no and one. But Bagley, to me, just continues his strong season.
You know, Dave, he's bouncy, he's resilient. And a lot of teams wrote him off, really, but, you know, he's come in great shape, really contributing. In training camp, we saw it. Preseason games, we saw it. And the first 4 Wizards games, I mean, he is all over the rim, active.
Bagley at the line. And you think about it, he number 2 pick as well.
Yeah.
So you got Alex Sarr, number 2 pick, and playing in front of him. And playing in front of Bagley is Alex Sarr.
And I think the thing that I've always liked about Bagley, and he has fought injuries, but he's always had great hands. You know, around the rim, catch bad passes.
Makes the first free throw, second one coming. Misses. And Jalen Williams, again, that's Jay Will, gets a rebound. Sylvester Gaskin, Felicia in Arizona, they're doing the Ravens-Dolphins, multitasking with us. Mitchell, right elbow, man up front, Jay Will. He is open for 3 all the time in the world, but misses. Final 2 minutes. Up court to Trey Johnson. Tiptoes on the left sideline. Feeds Bagley left elbow. Maxson left block. Bounce pass. Cutting Whitmore and slapped away from behind. But Whitmore gets it back. Bang. No. Volleyballed around. Still volleyballed around. And finally the Thunder collect. Gilgeous-Alexander through the center circle now. Top of the arc. Step back 3 for Gilgeous-Alexander is a swish. 23-16. The Thunder match their biggest lead here in the first quarter with 1:29 left.
Shea Gilgeous knows how to extend leads, doesn't he?
Carrington out front to Johnson. Left at top of the key, Bagley. Bagley puts the ball on the floor. Hand off to Carrington. Wheels the foul and gets in the paint. Gilgeous-Alexander behind him, so he leans in and draws a foul on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He leaned forward.
Yep.
And he knew Gilgeous-Alexander was on his back. Missed the shot, but he's going to the free throw line. 23-16 the score. As Carrington to shoot 2. And again, as Carrington not starting tonight, it was not a demotion.
No, not at all.
They put Coulibaly, they wanted him to go at Gilgeous-Alexander to begin with, as Carrington misses the free throw. Don't make these free throws. Hey, it's doing the same thing, checking in from College Park. Well represented at College Park tonight. Going to be watching the Ravens and Dolphins, and that's the beauty of radio. You can do more than one thing and still stay focused. Now the second free throw by Carrington is good. 23-17, a 6-point Thunder lead. Wizards' biggest lead was 5 here in this first quarter, so they've been competitive. Edge of the circle, Mitchell, bounce pass, foul line, Gilgeous-Alexander, ball fake. Drives the lane, spins, guarded by Bagley, puts up the shot over Bagley, no. Jalen Williams keeps the rebound alive. Gilgeous-Alexander, right corner, Joe, and he's got it. Isaiah Joe in the right corner makes it 26-17. Johnson, right wing outside the arc for 3, it's there!
Hey, it's an answer.
Oh, right back at you. Cool as you please. 26-20.
That's called an answer bucket.
40 seconds left in the first quarter. And now off the ball, Trey Johnson will get called for the foul as he was tangled up with A.J. Mitchell. So that is going to put Mitchell at the line. It's a 5th team foul.
Doesn't it seem, Dave, just with the ebb and flow of this game, that OKC's dominating the glass with offensive rebounds, but they're not. I mean, Wizards right now, both teams have 6 offensive rebounds.
That's crazy because there was that one possession. They had like 3 or 4. Yeah. Right. Mitchell makes the free throw, 27-20. Matches the biggest lead. So Alex Caruso comes in and replaces Chris Youngblood, who we didn't say much about in his time out there. Not to be critical, just was not involved. Mitchell, both. Free throws made. 28-20, 37 seconds left. Thunder on top. Carrington edges across midcourt. Cuts to his left. Whips it. Kispert, left wing. Steps from the left corner. Couple ball fakes. Back to Carrington, left to the center circle. Carrington behind the back dribble. Step back 3. Off the back of the iron, no. And the rebound, Gilgeous-Alexander. Shot clock is off. Thunder lead by 8. 28-20. They can extend their biggest lead. All right, floor is spread. Gilgeous-Alexander, right of the center circle. And they're working right to left, cuts to his right. Now Whitmore and Kismert have him pinned in. Feed Caruso at the elbow, out from Mitchell for three, and that's it.
That was a really nice play, though, by the Thunder, Dave. They blitzed Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out top. Caruso came as a pressure relief right in the middle of the floor, looked reversed. They got the shot they wanted, just didn't fall, but it was well executed.
All right, 1 quarter of play done in the books there, for whatever book you're reading. 28-20 Thunder on top of the Wizards. Come on back. We're just getting started. We know about this Wizards team. Remember Dallas? They're going to fight. Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Johnson back with Glenn Kotzler and you. Steve Mack, thanks for helping me out here. I knew Delaware State had a big name coach, Deshaun Jackson. So you have Deshaun Jackson with Delaware State, and Norfolk State's got Michael Vick. That's Joyce multitasking, listening to us and watching that game. So that's
pretty good coaches there.
Yeah, big time coaches. Your assessment, Glenn Kotzler, from the first quarter, which sees the Thunder up by 8.
Yeah, well, I think the Wizards, they got to do a little better job taking care of the basketball. OKC has 4 steals in the first quarter. Wizards have none. Wizards got to get a little bit more aggressive defensively. Not that steals is the answer, but they're going to have to match up and get in the passing lanes a little better.
Now, Caruso out front, top of the arc, working right to left for the Thunder. Wiggins, the former Maryland player, left wing. Hartenstein's back in the game. Right elbow, gets in the paint, denied by Bagley. 7 on the clock. Feed to cutting Wiggins to the basket. Bank and score with Whitmore trailing him. Whitmore couldn't block it from behind. Biggest lead for the Thunder, 30-20. Now center circle, Carrington. Started by Kason Wallace. Rocking the cradle in that center circle, cuts to his right. Pass mark right wing to a cutting Bagley, but couldn't bring it in. Hartenstein instead intervenes. Center circle, Caruso. Knocked loose by Carrington. Gets it to Wallace, left at the top of the key. Kason Wallace. Top of the key. Hands off A.J. Mitchell. Mitchell, foul line, driving. Chased out of the paint by Trey Johnson. 8 on the clock. Back up front, Caruso. Hartenstein. Now top of the arc. One dribble, hands off Wiggins, out front for 3 off the rim, and Kispert grabs a rebound away from Hartenstein. 30-20 Thunder. Bagley up court. Left wing Johnson. Johnson back to Kispert. Steps to his left. He's got an open look from 3. It's there. He was not going to miss that. Finally got an open look. 30-23 Thunder. Working right to left, Wiggins. Hartenstein out front, drives on Bagley, driving. Jab step, spins. Bagley stays with him. Bounce pass to cutting A.J. Mitchell. Left side, banks and scores. 32-23 Thunder.
Boy, the Thunder's offense just had 5 guys, not 1 or 2, 5 guys in constant rotation and movement.
Now Carrington a foul after a bad pass was broken up. Carrington the bounce pass. He was intended for Kispert. Well, and Carrington commits the foul.
But Dave, that's the Wizards' 6 turnovers so far, and that's too much. Whereas OKC only has 2. So they've been the aggressor so far defensively.
10:22 to go, first half. Center circle now. Caruso, top of the arc, Hartenstein. Hartenstein hands off to Wiggins. Wiggins right at the foul line. Leans in, underhand scoop shot, no, but he draws a foul from behind. I believe Bagley got him. 32-23. Thunder on top of the Wizards.
Boy, it really looks like Aaron Wiggins has picked up a whole bunch of offensive moves from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's coming to a jump stop and then pivoting. Stepping back, pivoting, spinning around. Very balanced move by Wiggins.
Well, it's like when we see guards who played with Steve Nash, they would start to play like him.
Yes, it's through osmosis.
Well,
you pick it up.
That's a big word you're using tonight. Well, we waited all day in the hotel to use that second rebound. The second free throw, no good.
Not really, because I don't know what it means.
32-23. I thought it had something to do with plants. Hash mark right wing Carrington. Out front Whitmore. Top of the arc. Guarded behind Kason Wallace. Whitmore looking to break down Wallace. Now Trey Johnson out front for 3. Off the rim, no. And Wallace gets the rebound. 32-23 Thunder. Working right to left. Wiggins driving. Foul line. Floats up. Hartenstein slams. 2 hands. You can see that play developing in slow motion, and Brian Keefe and the Wizards will call a timeout.
Not a lot of resistance in the pick and roll defensive game of the Wizards so far, and that's got to change, and that's the reason OKC's got an 11-point lead.
And that's the reason Brian Keefe just called the timeout. 34-23, Thunder on top of the Wizards. Come on back on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Hey, you know, when the Wizards win, almost did on Tuesday against the Sixers before losing in overtime, you get a $2.50 Big Mac the next day only on the McDonald's app. And remember, we told you about October being Transplant Awareness Month. Power to save a life is within you, becoming a living organ donor. If you want to learn more, it's medstarhealth.org/monumental donate life. Saving a life. What an amazing gift that is. 32-23, Oklahoma City Thunder on top of the Wizards, and I think you figured out the equation that's not helping the Wizards. They have more turnovers than assists.
Yeah, and you look at OKC, 7 assists, only 2 turnovers. Wizards, conversely, and again, you can't base a game on these stats, but 4 assists and 6 turnovers, which have led to 8 points, is not a good early sign. So the Wizards have to ramp up their defense a little bit. Get out on the perimeter, blitz Shea when he has the ball, and start to muck it up and get some deflections and get some steals.
Bilal Coulibaly did start tonight, 6 minutes, 2 points, 1 block shot, 1 assist, and 1 rebound on 1 of 2 shooting. I'd say he did not look rusty at all,
no.
And especially just got after it on defense where he picked up. Again, he suffered a ligament tear in his thumb playing for France in FIBA Eurobasket in the game against Georgia. Working left to right, Kispert, shadowed by Wiggins. Bagley center circle. Now Carrington. They come center logo out front. Whitmore, top of the arc. Whitmore on the dribble. Now he'll take a 3 over Wiggins. It's there. Cam Whitmore, an in-your-face shot, 34-26.
Tough shot.
Hartenstein, edge of the circle. Hands off to A.J. Mitchell. Guarded by Carrington, cuts to his left. Bagley's out there on the help defense. Mitchell to Caruso. It's behind him. He has to collect it with 9 on the clock. Caruso, top of the arc, guarded by Kispert. Foul line, drives to the basket, bank, no. Hartenstein the rebound. And right wing Wallace. Foul line, gets in the paint, floats up Hartenstein. Stuffs it on Marvin Bagley. Bagley had his arm up, but Hartenstein stuffed it down. Whitmore driving to the basket. Hangs, banks, and scores. So Cam Whitmore slices right down court, makes it 36-28.
He could score in a hurry, that we know.
Foul line, driving, banking, and scoring is Mitchell.
Resistance, Dave.
38-28 as he just came down the left side and found the glass. Carrington, foul line, going to the basket, flips it up with a right-hand swish. Now, no glass. He just threw it up outside the restricted arc and scored 38-30. Thunder. Wallace out front off the screen. Left wing Wiggins for 3. That could be trouble. Misses. Bagley the rebound. All right, 8:18 to go, second quarter. Carrington right of the circle. Carrington, hash mark on the right wing to Bagley. Here's to his left. Will hand off to Kispert. Bounce past Bagley. Bounce pass under the basket. Whitmore stuffed, 2 hands. 3 passes, 2 points. And the Wizards have now closed the gap, 38-32. Mitchell driving, flips up the shot. No, but a foul. Carrington will get called for the foul as he was riding him hard. His second. 13 foul. So 13 foul for the Wizards.
Boy, Cam Whitmore is scoring a whole bunch in a short period of time. Whitmore off the bench in 7 minutes has 7 points.
Uncle Wee says last night of his class, and he checks in. We appreciate that. We'll keep it down so we don't disrupt the class.
Is he in class?
He's in class, yes.
That's awesome.
I hope it's not an air traffic control class or something. 39-32. Free throw is made. Jalen Williams comes in again. J-Dub is out with a wrist injury. Chet Holmgren is out with a back injury. So essentially 2 starters for the Thunder missing from this team that's 5-0. Mitchell makes both free throws. 40-32, Thunder. 7:54 to go, second quarter. Carrington through the center circle. Harassed by Wallace. Carrington gets it knocked away by Wallace. Wallace is locked in, goes out of play. With 15 seconds on the shot clock, it'll be Wizards ball near midcourt on the right sideline. Carrington to handle the inbound. To Kispert. Bagley now at the point between the circles. Marvin Bagley puts the ball on the floor, right at the top of the key. Hands off George. George foul line, guarded by Caruso. George brings it back to the top of the arc. Caruso knocks it away and steals it. The pass to Wiggins is broken up by Coulibaly, but the shot clock goes off. So I think there was a change of possession, so the shot clock should have reset.
Exactly.
And it's going to be Wizards ball.
Did you put your officiating shirt on, Dave? That was a great call by you.
Well, 22 seconds now on the shot clock. And the Wizards get it back. Right sideline. Into George. Near midcourt on the right side. Bagley point between the circles. Hand off to George. Almost broken up by Caruso. George enters the circle. Goes at Caruso. Left elbow. Left corner Coulibaly. Cut off on the baseline by Wiggins. Backs in left block on Wiggins. Out front Kispert. A deep three. Misses badly. Rebound ricochets around. Bagley out front. Now the shot clock reset. But Kispert didn't hit rim.
No. And it shouldn't have.
So Brian Keefe is going over the scores table and saying, what's going on over there?
Yeah. He probably knows those folks
so
over
now
there, too.
They're calling a shot clock violation as Bagley missed the shot. So I thought there was still some time left when Bagley, when Kispert, anyway. A.J. Mitchell driving down to the right block. Out front, Jalen Williams. Hands off Caruso. Caruso, top of the arc for three, off the rim. Long rebound. Williams tips it, but Kispert gets it at midcourt. Kispert on the dribble. Behind him, Bagley, edge of the circle. Hands off George. And he's bumped by A.J. Mitchell, who was trying to fight through the Bagley screen. 40-32. Thunder with 6:51 to go in the second quarter.
You know, you look at this Thunder team. Shea's not in the game, but their defense on the perimeter, man. You take a dribble, they're turning you to another direction. You turn to another direction, they're beating you to that spot and turning you again. They are very good defensively.
McCollum comes in for Carrington, left sideline. George inbound the ball to Bilal Coulibaly. Great to say that name. His pass for George is broken up by Caruso. Goes out of play. This Thunder team, they are the aggressor. They are handsy.
They're the champs.
And well,
there's a reason.
There's a reason. All right, left sideline, Keyshawn George.
You don't win championships unless you're an elite defensive team.
McCollum, left wing, back up on George for three off the rim. No good. It was a good look. Jalen Williams a rebound. Right to left now, A.J. Mitchell. Mitchell, hash mark left wing. Probes, gets in the restrictor arc bank. No, as Bagley defends at the last moment.
Good, no foul.
Coulibaly, pass up court, intended for Kispert, broken up by Caruso. Bounce pass Wiggins to the basket. No! Missed the layup. Coulibaly rebound. Head down to Keyshawn George. To Coulibaly, foul line, gets in the paint, in traffic, leans in, puts up a shot and scores! Guarded by two, Bilal scores two, and the Wizards within 6, 40-34.
What I liked about that shot by Bilal when he cut through the middle is he welcomed the contact. He didn't shy away from it. He went right to it and was able to finish.
He was able to finish, and who knows, could have drawn a foul. Didn't that time, but good to see that. Hey, Jeff is checking in after his Asia staff meeting. Of course, he's 1 month until he's back in the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Well, his son where's Nick? Now he's somewhere. And Tracy checks in, says, Mom and Pop say hello. They're not at the game tonight.
Why not?
I don't know. They didn't want to come out and see us. They're Oklahoma City Thunder fans, but we're always nice to them. We know that. Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. It's our Thursday get-together. Dave's got the Click console with basketball involved. And we've got a good one because the Wizards, they've taken some punches from the champions, but they're right in it. 6:19 to go second quarter. They trail the Thunder 40-34. Our next home game is presented to you by our good friends at Ticketmaster, and that is coming up on Saturday night with us. We're back in Capital One, the Orlando Magic in town. Ticketmaster.com/Wizards for tickets. Hey, stop by and say hello in section 216. That's where we broadcast from during the game, and we love to meet new members of the radio party. Again, that's coming up as Saturday, the Magic at 7 o'clock at Capital One Arena. And we'll also be hosting Box Out Cancer Night in partnership with MedStar Health. And so, again, it might be a good way to honor a cancer survivor or, celebrate the joy of life with us. And we're also going to have a special interview in our broadcast on Saturday night with Dr. Stephen Liu from MedStar Health with some great tips that you'll want to be listening for as we want to keep you healthy. All right, 6:17 to go here in the second quarter. Through the center circle, Mitchell. Caruso, hash mark left wing, 6-point game. Thunder lead. Mitchell, top of the key, foul line. In the paint, blocked by Coulibaly. Ricocheted around, still loose. On the floor, getting it Dort. Left corner, Mitchell, 6 on the clock. Dort out front, Williams, 3 on the clock. Hands off Isaiah Joe. Back to Williams, has a look from 3 at the buzzer off the rim. No. Coulibaly is making his defensive difference. That's his second block. Yep. Sarr, top of the arc. Left at the top of the key. Back to Bilal. Bilal now for 3. No. And a rebound brought in by Jalen Williams. 5:40 to go. 40-34 Thunder. Caruso, right wing out front, Joe. George is on him. Jalen Williams. Hand off to Mitchell off a Williams screen for 3. No. And rebound battle. Getting it toward Hank and score. He was the only blue jersey around red. 42-34. That should have the Wizards seeing red.
OKC gets to every loose ball. Every one.
Middleton to Sarr, left at the top of the key. Poke loose from behind by Jalen Williams. Into the backcourt it goes for Coulibaly. 9-second shot clock.
To go.
Bilal, top of the arc, cuts to his left. Back to Sarr out front. He bobbles it. Well, the Wizards had, and then Jalen Williams after loses it out of play. There's 2 seconds on the shot clock. And the Wizards, a classic case of butterfingers on that possession. Aided by the Thunder's defensive pressure.
2.3 seconds and ice!
So 2.3 seconds on the shot clock. Wizards down by 8, 42-34. George, right sideline, inbound the ball. And now we get whistles. What do we have here?
J-Dub.
Yep, J-Dub with the foul.
I think.
No, J. Will.
J. Will, I'm
J.
sorry.
Will.
2 Jalen Williams. One's J-Dub, the other one's J. Will.
So Keyshawn George will go to the free throw line. As that was before they inbounded the ball.
Yep.
So George at the free throw line makes it.
That's how you make up some ground.
42-35.
That's how so you make the free throw, you get.
Well, that's a big call because there's only 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Now you have 14.
Yep. All right, 42-35. Thunder. George, right sideline to inbound the ball. Got it by Mitchell. Bounce pass into Middleton. Middleton working baseline. Left corner McCollum for 3. It's there. Oh, it's there. McCollum was wide open. He was not going to miss. A 4-point game. 42-38 Thunder.
Great skip pass along the baseline from Chris Middleton to CJ.
Jalen Williams, bounce pass Isaiah Joe. Jab step, top of the strict arc, flips up the shot and scores. Nice cut by Isaiah Joe. 44-38 Thunder. 4:38 to go. First half of play. Malik Sarr now, top of the arc. Hand off to Coulibaly. Lob for Sarr. Catches restricted arc. Weaves, bank, and one.
There you go.
As Isaiah Joe was grabbing onto his arm, and he still finished. That's the improved strength of Sarr finishing around the rim.
Stays with the play. He doesn't shoot it on the way down. Isaiah Joe, by the way, has been a spark plug off the bench. In 9 minutes, he's got 8 points. In 8 minutes, he's got 8 points. Isaiah Joe.
So Sarr goes to line. Jeff clears it up. The Nick, his son, is in Florence, Italy.
Yeah. How do I become a family member of Jeff's family?
They're either there at the Caribbean or
Caribbean, Hawaii,
Nick
whatever.
was in the French Riviera.
Yeah.
All right, 44-41, 3-point game as Sarr a 3-point play. Gilgeous Alexander right of the circle. Throws to Hartenstein, left of the lane. Behind Isaiah Joe, left corner, blocked by Keyshawn George. George came from the side and swatted it away.
Like that a lot.
8 seconds.
Staying with the play is Keyshawn.
We have a 3-point game here in the second quarter. Dason Wallace, baseline left, inbound the ball. Wallace gets into Joe in the left corner. While Coulibaly on him. Joe gets it blocked by Coulibaly. That's 3 blocks for Bilal Coulibaly.
Wow.
He is having his own block party tonight. 2.8 seconds.
3 blocks in 10 minutes of play, and he hasn't played for a while.
Wallace down the left wing. Dort over Sarr for 3. No. Rebound secured by the Wizards. Coulibaly, center circle. Bounce pass Sarr, left elbow. Hands off to McCollum. Hash mark at the left wing. McCollum cuts to his left, trying to escape Dort out front. Now Coulibaly for 3. It's there.
Big shot.
Wide open, and we are tied at 44.
Boy, so nice to see his 3-ball go in, huh? Man.
Out front now, Gilgeous Alexander gets in the paint. Behind him for 3, Isaiah Joe. swish. Now, right back at you. 47-44 Thunder. 3:33 to go.
Isaiah Joe playing like Isaiah Thomas.
Top of the arc. Star. Hands off to Middleton. And Middleton's elbow, I think, went into Isaiah Joe. So, Isaiah Joe draws Middleton's third personal foul. 47-44 is our score. 3:24 to go, second quarter of play. Sam's liking what's going on, and we appreciate him listening tonight. His edge of the circle, Gilgeous-Alexander. Now front, guarded by Middleton. He's going to take a three and make a three. He had Middleton on him, didn't matter. 6-point lead for the Thunder, 50-44. Right of the circle, McCollum. The Star, point between the circles. Puts the ball on the floor, goes to Hartenstein. Gets in the paint. Behind him, Coulibaly for three. No. Rebound, Hartenstein. 50-44 Thunder. 2:54 to go here in the second quarter. Right of the circle, Gilgeous-Alexander. Lost the ball on the floor. Kason Wallace has it, but Sarr and Middleton, well, a timeout called by the Thunder before Sarr and Middleton could time up. All right, 2:45 to go here in the second quarter.
Tell you what, Wizards taking punches.
Yes.
And fighting back. I like it.
And they're not getting many second looks.
No.
And they're as you said, it's a 6-point game. We'll come back in 30 seconds. Keep checking if you like at Dave Day Sports at Glenn Consor on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. We're back in Oklahoma City as the Thunder lead 50-44. Dave Johnson, Glenn Consor, and our engineer, Britt Lockhart, sounds like a gunfighter, but he's styling tonight. Boy, we must be paying him too much. He looks good.
No, he does.
He dresses better than we do.
He's a wealthy man.
I think he's an oil baron. Back in a moment, but we pause right now, 10 seconds, station identification on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
You're listening to Washington Wizards basketball on WFED Washington and W232DG Sterling. Federal News Network, your home for Wizards basketball.
Thunder ball, 2:45 left first half. Joe, hash mark left sideline. George covering the inbound. Got to get it in to Hartenstein. Left the circle, guarded by Sarr. Hartenstein on the dribble out front. Throws on a Gilgeous-Alexander foul line. Left corner, Isaiah Joe for three. He's got it.
Wow.
Isaiah Joe.
He's
not your average Joe. 53-44. As he is making a difference for the Thunder. Center circle, McCollum. Lou Dort is on him. 16 on the clock. Now to George. Hash mark left wing. George drives down to the baseline. Double pump fakes. Puts up the shot over Joe. Fouled by George as he made up for his miss.
Stayed with the play.
53-46.
Isaiah Joe has 14 points in 10 minutes. Lightning in a bottle.
Now, top of the arc, Gilgeous-Alexander driving, bank, no. And the rebound, Coulibaly. Sarr altered the shot. Ahead to George. George, head down, left elbow. Splits the defenders, lost the ball. Gilgeous-Alexander scoops it up. Now George trying to make a play in traffic. Now Gilgeous-Alexander pirouettes the foul line, rises, shoots, scores. Oh, he found a way. 55-46 Thunder.
Silky smooth is his game.
McCollum now by the Paycom Center logo on the right side. Top of the arc. Top of the key. Right wing to Coulibaly. To Sarr, broken up by Hartenstein. Now goes back to Coulibaly, but intercepted by Wallace.
Too many turnovers.
Now, left wing Joe. Left corner Lou Dort open for three off the rim. Sarr, good box out on Hartenstein for the rebound. Ahead to Middleton. 55-46. Thunder, Middleton. Spins as it was knocked loose by Gilgeous-Alexander. Goes out of play on the baseline. A minute 11 left in the first half.
Dave, OKC's got 10 steals. 10 steals, which has equated to 11 turnovers from the Wizards. And that's been the delta in this game. It's been the difference.
And that's why the Wizards are down by 9.
And conversely, the Wizards right now, well, OKC only has 3 turnovers. Wizards only have 1 steal. That's it right there.
Keyshawn George, baseline left, inbound the ball. In the left corner, Trey Johnson. 13 on the clock. Out front, George, top of the arc. George, right elbow, gets in the paint, crowded. Coulibaly, right wing outside the arc for three. It's there.
Nice to see.
He was open. He scored. 55-49. Thunder. Bilal Coulibaly, no rust. Left the circle, Gilgeous-Alexander. Now over to Wallace. Right elbow. Right corner, Mitchell. Covered by Johnson. Feeding the lane, Dort. Now Hartenstein baseline left, and his jump hook nestles in the basket. 57-49. Thunder. 40 seconds left. Up court, McCollum. Right block. Top of the restrictor arc. Throws now. Left wing outside the arc for three. Johnson, no. And the rebound, Kason Wallace. 30 seconds left until halftime. 57-49 Thunder. Gilgeous-Alexander foul line rises, shoots, got it. 59-49. All right, 24 seconds left here in the first half. There is a slight difference in shot clock, game clock. The Thunder by 10. Left the circle, George. Poked at by Dort. Paycom center lower out front of the right side, McCollum. McCollum back to George, 8 seconds. George left the circle, cuts to his left off a Sarr screen. Sarr, a legal screen. As Dort ends up on the deck, 59-49, Thunder, 5.3 seconds left. Here in the first half of play, as Allison Baugh checks in on this Thursday Night Basketball get-together, we'll have the Jonathan Morris Trivia at halftime. I hope... And I know Brian Albin, who, by the way, will be doing the Capital City Go-Go. We invite you to tune into those games on Monumental Network. 5.3 seconds left. The Wizards did have an early 5-point lead in this game, but they've been fighting the whole way, but too many turnovers. Gilgeous-Alexander backcourt, and he's fouled by Bub Carrington. They had a foul to give. 3.6 seconds left. So the Thunder to inbound the ball at midcourt. Alex Caruso just shy of the midcourt line to Gilgeous-Alexander. 2 seconds. Left elbow driving. Feeds left corner. Wallace for three. He missed it, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. All right. Successful final possession defensively for the Wizards. But as expected, some work to do against the defending champs. Keep checking if you like at DJ Sports at Glen Console. We like to make this a community. 59-49. The Thunder on top at halftime. More in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. They've got some back with Glen Console, who gets set for the second half of play. Bilal Coulibaly, did you expect him to come out and perform as well as he did? I mean, it's like he didn't miss a beat.
No. Yep. And I expected him to rebound and block shots and defend like what we're seeing, but he's been really efficient offensively, which is such a good sign, Dave. 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. And if he can continue to shoot the way he's shooting the ball, man, it's going to make such a difference in his overall game to make him a complete player. That shooting part of it is going to, really add another dimension to his game.
All right, the Thunder with the first possession to start the second half. The Thunder facing full court pressure from the Wizards as Wallace gets across midcourt, but not with much time to spare. Left the circle, Wiggins, Hartenstein on the left wing. Out front, hands off to Wallace. Kason Wallace, top of the key, foul line, right elbow, a couple pump fakes, puts up a shot and scores. Now with McCollum flying by him, that wasn't easy. 61-49 Thunder. In the Thunder 5-0 start the season. George left at the top of the key, Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr now, top of the arc, will hand off to George. George, left wing outside the arc, Coulibaly. Back to George, left at top of the key, 8 on the clock. George pulls back, then loses the dribble. Coulibaly tried to keep it in play, but was on the sideline.
The defensive rotations of Oklahoma City, it's elite. They crowd the paint. No matter where you are, it's almost like they're playing man, but they play zone in the paint. They keep the ball out of the paint. They don't allow paint touches.
Gilgeous-Alexander spins in the lane. Now right wing Wiggins. Foul line, driving to the basket. Tried to dump off to Hartenstein. Broke it up by Coulibaly. Coulibaly now left the circle. Coulibaly on the dribble, left wing. Now pass for Sarr. Broken up by Hartenstein. Boy, Hartenstein, his effort and his energy is just tremendous.
Yeah, he's tough. I'd like to see Alex Sarr get going here in the second half after that 30-point, 10-rebound performance.
George out front off a Sarr screen. Left wing Coulibaly, left corner McCollum for three. It's there. All right, ring it up. 61-52. The Thunder on top of the Wizards. 10:46 to go here in the third. Gilgeous-Alexander left the circle. Guarded by Middleton. Looking right down Middleton, now double team, and his bounce pass was kicked by Coulibaly, intended for Dort out front. So it'll be left sideline Thunderball, just getting going in the third quarter. Keep us up to date on what you're multitasking tonight. The Ravens, Dolphins, I know, Norfolk State, Delaware State going on. Left the circle, Wallace. Guarded by McCullum. Now, just to his left, it's Gilgeous-Alexander, 7 on the clock. Gilgeous-Alexander, Acom Center logo, 4 on the clock. Guarded by McCullum. Steps to his right, fades, shoots a 3, misses. Coulibaly gets a rebound. Bounce pass head to McCullum. McCullum, stop, start, drives down to the baseline. Left wing Middleton, splits the defenders. Left corner McCullum, and he stepped on the sideline. These unforced turnovers don't help.
Yep, no, they're not helping.
61-52.
You know, it's look, this is the first time this team's playing with Bilal. Bilal's playing with McCullum, so you got a lot of that going on.
Gilgeous-Alexander, top of the arc, goes to McCullum, spins, gets in the paint, and he's sandwiched between Middleton and McCullum, and I think Middleton fouled him.
Foul on number 3, C.J. McCullum.
No, McCullum, pardon. That's going to be his third.
SGA's like a contortionist,
yes,
Dave, when he has the ball. He'll go at two guys and somehow get in the middle of them and still get a shot off. It is really incredible to see.
Or draw a foul like he did there. Gilgeous-Alexander left of the circle of the Hartenstein screen. The Hartenstein foul line. Right wing out front. Wallace drains it. 64-52. Thunder on top. 9:54 to go third. George on the left wing off the screen by McCullum. Now Sarr left at top of the key. Sarr, couple dribbles, top of the arc. Middleton behind him. Middleton wheels the left double. Left corner. George has a look from 3. It's there. 64-55. Take advantage of your open looks. Now, Jason Wallace, edge of the circle, Hartenstein. Bounce pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. Left at the top of the key. And we're going to have illegal defense call? No, Middleton a foul.
You know, Keyshawn George is quietly putting together a nice game. He's got 9 points, but he's been very efficient. Keyshawn, he's 3 of 6, 2 of 4 from 3, 6 rebounds.
Hartenstein now just outside the restricted arc. Jump hook, good. Boy. Over Alex Sarr's outstretched arm. 66-55 Thunder.
Boy, he's given him a lot in the absence of Chet Humber, too.
Edge of the circle, Sarr. Sarr, top of the arc, hands off to Coulibaly. Coulibaly for 3, rims out. Wallace the rebound, 66-55 Thunder. In Holmgren out with a back injury. J-Dub is out with a wrist injury. Hartenstein, hands off now to Wiggins, foul line. And off the ball, we have a foul. As it might be George. Yeah, George.
Yep.
That's his first.
Gets his first foul, 66-55.
Wizards going a little smaller now with Trey Johnson coming in for Chris Middleton. So you got Johnson and CJ in the backcourt with Keyshawn George.
Gilgeous-Alexander edge of the circle. Now Wiggins foul line. Weaves in the paint, puts up a shot over Sarr and scores. 68-55 Thunder. Right to left, Keyshawn George works. George, right of the circle, shovels left at the top of the key, Alex Sarr. Hartenstein on him, hands up Coulibaly, foul line. And as he went to drive, a foul committed. Somebody reached in.
I really like the fact that Bilal, who's been out for quite a long time since FIBA, and, you know, Dave, he's in attack mode. There's nothing hesitant about his game, nothing tonight, which is great to see.
And again, he's welcoming contact.
Yes.
He's not wincing at all. He's at the free throw line, makes the free throw 68-56 after the foul by Keyshawn Wallace.
He's playing with that right thumb taped up, so it's still needs to be supported, but showing no ill effects.
Second free throw, good. And the good thing, he kept up with his cardio.
Yes.
In his absence, so.
And he worked on his left hand, too, because it was his right. The problem was his right thumb.
Ligament in that right thumb. Now, Gilgeous-Alexander, guarded by Coulibaly, baseline right, jumper good. Wow. 70-57.
Nobody stops in the NBA like Shea. No one.
Sarr, top of the arc out front, left elbow, Pirouettes into the paint. Now to George out front for three. It's there. Could kill it when he released it. 70-60 the score.
That was nice. They collapsed on Alex. Kicked out to Keyshawn, who was open.
He's got 12 points now. Foul on Gilgeous-Alexander. Denied by Trey Johnson. Back out front. Wallace hands off to Hartenstein. Hash mark right wing. Bounce pass cutting Wallace. And Keyshawn George blocks it, but he commits a foul. Blocked it from behind. But George will pick up his second. 7:51 to go. That's the fourth team foul on the Wizards here in this third quarter. So Wallace to go to the line to shoot two. Keep checking if you like. At Dave J Sports, at Glenn Consors. A good point on your end, Keyshawn George. You know, after he had a rough night against the Hornets, a nice response against the Sixers. 20-point night, and he's on his way there again. He's 4 of 7, very efficient tonight.
Very efficient.
And made by Wallace.
And he's got 4 rebounds and 2 assists. 2 blocks as well.
Again, the other night, 9.7 assists. He's always filling up the stat sheet. 72-60, Thunder by 12. 7:51 to go, third quarter. McCollum in the backcourt, shadowed by Wallace. McCollum left the center circle on the dribble. The left hand spins to his right. Now Sarr left the top of the key. Step back three for Sarr. Rims out. And he had a good look there, but Luke Dort gets a rebound. 72-60 Thunder. Now on top of the arc, Hartenstein. Behind him, Gilgeous-Alexander. Bounce pass Hartenstein. Foul line. Right corner, Dort for three off the rim. Long rebound, but snapping it in is Coulibaly. Center circle. Driving. Oh, slam! Right in!
Sweet.
Spring loaded. 72-62. Makes it a 10-point game. And Coulibaly, I don't know what he's having. He now has 16 points, Glenn. Now down low left lane, Gilgeous-Alexander. Backing in on Trey Johnson. Turns the baseline left, shoot scores.
You know what that looked like on that baseline? Kobe. Spinning baseline, fading back.
Johnson was there, but the shot was better. 74-62 Thunder. Sarr, top of the arc, dribbles to his left, hands off to McCollum. McCollum to Sarr in the paint, to the basket, flips up a shot, denied by Wiggins, but it comes out to George. Now Johnson, foul line, left wing McCollum, catch and shoot for three, it's there.
Well, I really like that pass by Trey Johnson, Dave. He created coverage in the middle of the floor, which forced two guys on him. And kicked it out to McCollum right at the third hour.
Hey, you know these Wizards are not going away. Mark Dagno knows that as well. He just called a timeout. 74-65. The Thunder on top. Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Hey, Johnson back with the Glenn Consor. And you on this Thursday night. The Thunder's biggest lead in this one, 13. The Wizards, as I said, just keep creeping back, 74-65. They trail with 6:35 to go here in the third quarter. If the Wizards do win tonight, it's $2.50 Big Mac tomorrow, only on McDonald's app. Maybe you're listening on an app tonight, Sirius XM or NBA or Odyssey or the Washington Wizards app. Hey, we remind you to think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. You get the parts and services you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. And at MedStar Health, we're proud the Wizards to continue to trust us as their medical team. How we treat the pros, how we treat you. MedStar Health, it is how we treat people. Hey, this third quarter, Glenn Consor, the Wizards actually outscoring the Thunder 16-15.
Wizards have made 3 more threes than the Thunder have. The difference is points in the paint right now. That's really where OKC is scoring so many of their points. A lot of it comes off penetration from guys like Isaiah Joe and obviously Shea and Hartenstein, but 34-20 advantage in points in the paint.
You know, you're interested in this game. Second quarter, the Thunder only scored the Wizards by 2. Outscored them by 2. They were down the Wizards by 8 in the first quarter, at the end of the first quarter. So this has been a competitive game, but the Thunder, make no mistake, have a 9-point cushion, and they are the defending champs. A.J. Mitchell now through the center circle. Feeds out. Jay Will is in. Now with the left wing open for three. Kason Wallace.
That's a miscommunication.
Yeah, he was wide open.
Man, was he open. He could have had a cup of coffee, read the paper.
77-65, right of the foul line. Sarr, the Thunder with the lead. Trey Johnson now, right at the top. He rises, shoots, doesn't get it to go.
Anybody read the paper anymore?
I was just going to say, that's now like a phone booth. On a data reference, Gilgeous-Alexander drives. As he came down the right side of the lane, Keyshawn George the foul.
Well, you could read the paper online now. That's what everyone's doing.
Yeah, no. 77-65, the Thunder on top. But, you know, when you try to tell people about a phone booth, it really goes over their head. I mean, you don't even see them anymore.
What about a payphone?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you know, it's 78-65. Free throw made by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who now has 73 points. No, he's got 25. It just it seems like he's got all 78 points. And they're chanting MVP here. Why wouldn't you? Because he is. Won both those awards last year. The finals and the season. 79-65. Biggest lead now for the Thunder, 14 points. Left the center circle, Keyshawn George. George posting right side of the lane, right corner McCollum for three. It's there. Oh, that's good for what else. Just 79-68. And McCollum now is up to 14 points. Now in the backcourt, Bub Carrington commits a foul. That's going to be the fifth on the Wizards. So the Thunder are shooting free throws. 79-68. It is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to shoot the free throws. 10 of 16 tonight is SGA, 26 points.
Just doesn't miss many shots. You know, he's so efficient with his moves. He has that natural ability to get to his spots. I mean, you always hear about, hey, guys get to their spots. Well, watch him. He knows exactly where he's going after his first dribble, and he only takes three.
And makes both free throws, 81-68 Thunder. 5:43 to go in the third. Carrington. Paycom center logo right side. Alex Sarr now, top of the arc. 16-second shot clock. One dribble, hands off McCollum. McCollum, left elbow, left side line to basket. Switches hands, right hand, left side, scores. 81-70. Wizards fighting. Dort, right wing, drives on George, gets in the restrictor arc. Left corner, A.J. Mitchell for three, no. Sarr lost the rebound. Dort gets it out front. Gilgeous-Alexander for three, off the rim. And George secures the rebound. George now through the center circle, cuts to his left, driving, left block, ball knocked loose, gets it back, throws out front now. Carrington, no look pass to his right. McCollum for three, off the rim, no. Sarr gets in there, battles for the rebound, and we've got a jump ball. Alex Sarr is surrounded by three Thunder players.
See, Alex, he's doing so much of a better job this year, grabbing rebounds in traffic. The next step for him is going to be making himself bigger on the catch of those rebounds, so that you can't converge on him like OKC just did. And he's coming a long way with that. Really impressive.
81.
He's got 7 rebounds, only 3 points.
Alex Sarr to jump against Lou Dort. He's got the size advantage. Foul on Wizards offensive end. They're trying to get the choreography straight. Ball in the air. Sarr wins it. Goes back to George. George, lob down low for Sarr. Turns, spins, and slams. 2 hands. 2 points. 81-72. Thunder.
Nice recognition by the Wizards, going right back to Sarr after that jump ball because he had Dort on him.
Out front, Jalen Williams for 3 misses. Kispert is in and gets a rebound. 81-72 Thunder. Carrington left the center circle on the dribble. Cuts to his right. Back to Kispert. Left wing outside the arc for 3. Off the back of the iron. No, 1 rebound. George almost had it, but Joe grabbed it. Isaiah Joe, who was a big spark in the first half of the Thunder's end. Joe, edge of the circle, right elbow, right side of the lane. Pass on the wing to A.J. Mitchell. On the left side, almost picked off by Carrington. Edge of the circle, Gilgeous-Alexander. Cuts to his right. Leads to Dort and stuff. Eluding a Sarr block. Dort the stuff. 83-72 Thunder. 4:07 to go, third quarter.
Multiple passes lead to open shots for the Thunder, doing a great job.
Now Sarr's pass for George, broken up by Dort. Getting it, Isaiah Joe. More turnovers for the Wizards. Gilgeous-Alexander, hash mark at the left wing. To the baseline. Spins to the left block. Bounce pass out front. Isaiah Joe for 3 off the back of the iron. No, Kispert gets the rebound. And Brian Keefe will call a timeout. All right, 3:44 to go, third quarter. The Wizards are scrapping and clawing, but the Thunder lead 83-72.
Good timeout by Brian Keith. You know, with Hartenstein out of the game, you got to go into and look for Sawmore now in the paint. Let him go to work.
All right, let's see if that's what they come up with when we come back on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Dave Johnson back with Glenn Consor as the Thunder, the defending champs, right now with the lead 83-72 on the Wizards. Again, the Thunder last year became the second youngest team ever to win an NBA championship. The first was the Bill Walton's Portland Trailblazers in the 76-77 season, and they won 68 games. So that's
wow.
This team is very much a championship team. Robinhood brings you the official numbers, official brokerage partner and jersey patch sponsor of the Wizards, and I know you're circling turnovers.
Yeah, well, the Wizards are going to get back into this game, and they're only down by 11, so there's plenty of time left here. But right now, 16 turnovers have led to 16 points. Conversely, OKC taking care of the basketball, efficient offensive sets. They only have 4 turnovers. Wizards only have 5 points off those turnovers. Guess what? They cut that number in half. You're back in this thing.
Well, because everything else is pretty even.
Yes.
The Wizards 44% shooting from the field. The Thunder 43. Wizards have made 12 three-pointers to the Thunder's 9. Thunder have made 14 free throws. The Wizards have made 10. So it's just the fact the Thunder...
And the rebounding is fairly close, too.
Right,
yeah.
But the Thunder have taken 69 shots to the Wizards 56.
And the Thunder have 11 steals compared to the Wizards' 2 steals.
Working right to left, Bub Carrington, shadowed by A.J. Mitchell. 3:39 to go, third quarter. Bagley's in, top of the arc, hands off to Carrington. Now out from Johnson at the point between the circles. Feeds now right wing Carrington. 8 on the clock, back to Johnson. Johnson guarded by Gilgeous-Alexander off the Bagley screen, picked up by Jalen Williams. He's double-teamed. His pass intended for Kispert, broken up by Jalen Williams. Isaiah Joe driving to the basket, gets under the basket. A.J. Mitchell, right corner for 3, misses. Rebound comes out to Isaiah Joe. Caruso, open for 3, and rims out. Wizards caught a break there.
Well, what did we say about turnovers? And they came right back and threw one.
Johnson spins in the lane and lost the dribble as it was knocked away as he got in the paint. It'll be Wizards ball with 16 seconds on the shot clock. 83-72 Thunder. So in the right corner, working right to left, Trey Johnson to inbound the ball. Run by Gilgeous-Alexander. Got to get it in, and his pass on the wing, broken up by A.J. Mitchell, goes out of play. Credit the Thunder with blanketing defense here.
Yes.
They got to get it in. 15-second shot clock, right sideline. Carrington, Kispert. Here comes on a logo. Hands off to Carrington. Top of the arc, Bagley. Bagley, one dribble, feeds Kispert. Drives, runners stick the arc, and one. Corey Kispert made something happen. 83-74 as he caught it and went right into the grill of Jalen Williams. He willed that basket on Jay Will.
He shot that off balance, falling away somehow. And that shows how much stronger Corey Kispert's upper body has gotten through the years. He's able to finish those plays.
Again, the Thunder biggest lead 14. This is credit to the Wizards.
Yeah.
He makes a free throw. It's now down to an 8-point game. So the Wizards are not letting the Thunder take it from 14 to 20 or something. Gilgeous-Alexander, top of the arc. Now into the circle by J. Mitchell. Driving. Back up on Isaiah Joe. Top of the arc for 3. Rims out. Cam Whitmore skies and gets a rebound. Whitmore, center circle. Jump stop. Feeds under the basket. Bagley, bank, and score. Whitmore jumps into the paint, finds Bagley, and look at this. We have a 6-point game, 83-77.
Boy, I like how Cam exploded up the floor and created a 2-on-1 opportunity.
Gilgeous-Alexander double-team feet. Caruso goes to the basket, flips up a shot, defended by Carrington without fouling. Right of the circle, Trey Johnson. Johnson goes at A.J. Mitchell, and he draws a foul. Good response here. What do you think, Danny, at AJ Sports at Glenn Consor? 83-77.
I just love Trey Johnson he comes down, and you know he's keeping it, and you still can't stop him. He's got that little stutter crossover move, stutter stop and go, gets the defense on their heels.
Inbound to Bagley, hand off to Kispert. Kispert, guarded by Isaiah Joe. The right block, gets in the restricted arc, and he's fouled. So Corey Kispert again, driving and making something happen. Isaiah Joe commits a foul. Kispert goes the line. Again, you run Kispert off the three-point line, he's going to attack.
And what we're seeing with Corey Kispert is when you do run him off, he wants the contact now. And he'll draw the contact with his shoulder, and then he'll continue to lean in until he's fouled.
And makes the free throw 83-78. 2:04 to go, third quarter.
You got your seatbelt on?
Got it on. And if you're driving, you should too. As the Wizards, this is why, as Wizards fans share with us, you got to love the DNA of this team. Makes both free throws. 83-79. It's a 4-point game. Now, A.J. Mitchell in the backcourt, working left to right, guarded by Trey Johnson. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Mitchell has marked left the lane to Gilgeous-Alexander. Faces Cam Whitmore, shoots over him, 15-footer off the rim. No, and Whitmore didn't foul. Carrington now, center circle for the Wizards. Feeds Trey Johnson, edge of the circle. To Bagley, left at top of the key. Guarded by Jalen Williams. Hands off Kispert. Kispert, top of the key. Lob for Bagley. Stumped away. Kispert to Bagley. Touchdown. The Wizards within 2, 83-81.
Boy, Kispert's making all the right passes, decisions.
Left corner, A.J. Mitchell. Working left to right. Circles out front. Caruso out front for three off the back of the iron. Kispert then grabs the rebound. Puck loose by Williams, who gets it for the Thunder. Caruso foul line. Left wing Gilgeous-Alexander open for three, and he buries it. 86-81. Thunder. Carrington left the circle. SGA makes every big shot. 1:02 left in the third quarter. Bagley, top of the arc, hands off to Kispert. Kispert, left double, ball fake to the basket, blocked by Jalen Williams. Isaiah Joe now working left to right. Gets around Carrington, goes to basket, finds left corner Mitchell for three. Got it. Got it. And this crowd erupts. And why wouldn't they? 89-81 Thunder. Wizards were knocking on the door, and the Thunder just shut it. Center circle now. Carrington. Wizards go back to work, though. Carrington left his circle. 13-second shot clock. Carrington, top of the arc, rises, shoots off the back of the iron. No, Isaiah Joe the rebound. 29 seconds left. 89-81 Thunder. Gilgeous-Alexander. Left of the lane. Splits the defenders. Gets to the restricted arc. Flips for the shot. No. Bagley defended without fouling. 18 seconds left. Shot clock is off. And not the Wizards' effort. It has been on in this third quarter, but now they're down 89-81. Kispert at the foul line. Left corner, Bagley for three. Oh, it's there.
Very nice play.
Oh, that was smooth. 5-point game. 5 seconds left. Gilgeous-Alexander throws to Jalen Williams. Right wing over Bagley for three. He got it. Bagley was in his face. And Jalen Williams, J-Will, had the will and the shot. And the Thunder go to the fourth quarter with a 92-84 lead.
I really like the way Corey Kispert's passing the basketball. He's not holding on to it. He's getting rid of it. Wizards have shown some nice ball movement. Getting the ball in the middle of the floor, looking reverse. Not keeping it on one side of the floor is where they play the most effective and efficient basketball.
Well, the Wizards showing a lot of good stuff, but the Thunder showing their defending champs. Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Back in Oklahoma City, it's time for Steve Fitter's Who's Hot, brought to you by Steve Fitter's UA Local 602, providing the best mechanical services and process piping system. First game back, Bilal Coulibaly, 16 points on 6 of 10 shooting, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 block shots, and 1 steal. Now, for the Thunder, no surprise, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has 31 points and 7 assists, 11 of 20 shooting. All right, the Wizards getting awfully close in that third quarter. In fact, the Wizards outscored the Thunder 35-33 in the third quarter, but it's 92-84 as we start the fourth. Now Carrington, right in the circle, hands off to Kispert. Kispert, right wing Whitmore, right elbow, gets in the paint, 12-footer, no, and grabbing it Hartenstein. They've been partially blocked by Wallace, and then Whitmore in his zeal to get it back. Or was it Bagley? No, Bagley got it.
This is an opportunity for the Wizards to make up some points now. Shea is not starting this quarter. Jump on that opportunity.
92-84. Thunder, top of the arc. Hartenstein guarded by Bagley. Couple dribbles, hands off to Mitchell. Top of the key. Mitchell out front, guarded by Whitmore. Hartenstein, top of the arc to Mitchell. Ball fake, right elbow, 7 o'clock to the basket. Reverse layup score. Came down the right side, finished on the left. 94-84, Thunder by 10. Whitmore. Hash mark on the left wing. Carrington, Paycom Center logo, right at the top of the Bagley. Bagley dribbles out front, top of the arc. Hand off to Kispert, broken up by Wallace. Chase in the backcourt, Wallace gets it. Lob it up for Wiggins, bank and score. Timeout by Brian Keefe. As the Wizards suddenly down 96-84. 11:05 to go fourth quarter.
The turnovers are mounting to the extent that whenever the Wizards make a little bit of a run, they turn it over. It's now 18 turnovers that have led to 18 points. What do we say in the third quarter? Cut that number in half, you got a chance.
You have a chance.
It's tough right now.
And even with that, they've been giving themselves a chance, but that's been prepping them up. The Wizards' self-inflicted injuries. Back in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Bagley left at top of the key. Guarded by Jalen Williams. Hands off Kispert. Kispert, top of the key. Lob for Bagley. Stumped away. Kispert to Bagley. Touchdown. The Wizards within 2, 83-81.
Kispert's making all the right passes, decisions.
Yes, in fact, that's our easiest decision of the game. Thanks to Corey Kispert, our Capital One easiest decision of the game. It is brought to you by our good friends at Capital One. Wizards' upcoming home game presented by Ticketmaster back at Capital One Arena on Saturday night. The Orlando Magic in town. It's real simple to get tickets at Ticketmaster.com/Wizards. As you get to the game, stop by section 216 and stay low. At stay low. At MedStar Health, we're proud the Wizards continue to trust us as a medical team. How we treat the pros, it's how we treat you. MedStar Health. After all, it's how we treat people. All right, here in the fourth quarter, after the Wizards actually outscored the Thunder in the third, but they've just been tripped up by turnovers.
It's all it is. I mean, the Wizards are out shooting the Thunder from the field. They're out shooting the Thunder from three. And, a lot of nice things, a lot of nice assists, but assist-to-turnover ratio is really been an Achilles for the Wizards tonight. Too many turnovers.
Against the Sixers, they had 33 assists. Tonight, they have 20 assists, but with 18 turnovers. Center circle, Carrington. Left the circle, Middleton. Working right to left, Kispert. Hash mark on the left wing. To Middleton, left the lane. Caruso's on him. Middleton lost the dribble. Now puts the ball on the floor. Backs in left block. Turns the baseline left. Shoot, scores.
Tough shot.
Nicely done by Middleton.
Oh,
Caruso
man.
all over him.
Yes, well defended.
96-86. 10-point Thunder lead. Wiggins, hash mark on the right wing. Beat it out from Mitchell. Mitchell, left sideline. Top of the arc. Payson Wallace for three. Carrington the rebound. Again, Shea Gilgeous is not in. They need to cut into this lead. Middleton, left elbow, down to the left block. Off 1 foot, baseline left, no. Whitmore was battling for the rebound. And in his battle for the rebound, he'll get called for the foul. 96-86. Thunder. 10:19 to go, fourth quarter. That's the second team foul on the Wizards. And the Thunder trying to stay undefeated. 5-0. Mitchell crosses midcourt. Guarded by Carrington. Top of the key. Foul line. Driving to the basket. Puts up a shot. In and out. Hartenstein the rebound. Hartenstein. Right block. Cross court. Left wing. Wiggins for three. No. Kispert then grabs the rebound. 96-86 Thunder. 9:58 to go. Carrington. Paycom Center logo on the right side out front to Kispert. Top of the arc. Denied the three by Wallace. And Wallace knocks the ball away. Wallace to the court. To the basket rather. And he's fouled by Kispert.
Another turnover, Dave. Just when you think, it's like one step forward and then 2 steps back. And that's kind of like the vibe of tonight's game where, you're seeing some nice ball movement from the Wizards, accurate passing, good shooting percentage-wise from three and the field, and then boom.
It's better than the Thunder.
Yeah. And all of a sudden there's a turnover that's leading to a bucket.
Payson Wallace goes the line, 96-86. Thunder on top. He'll shoot two. Again, the Wizards have only taken 63 field goals to the Thunder's 81.
18 points they've scored, the Thunder, off of turnovers. 18. That's a big number right now. Wizards, they got to take care of that ball down the stretch here. Still time.
Now 18 turnovers, and the Thunder have taken 18 more shots. 98-86, 9:47 to go, fourth quarter. Carrington in the backcourt, shadowed by Kason Wallace. He gets physical with players. Carrington now to Middleton. Hash mark on the left wing, guarded by Caruso. Dribbles to the edge of the circle. Now Carrington, hash mark right wing. Top of the arc, 8 on the clock. Bounce pass, right of the foul line. Middleton turns, shoots, no. Rebound battle. Bagley almost had it. Wallace has it instead. Caruso comes up court for the Thunder. Hash mark on the left wing. Hartenstein, top of the arc. Guarded by Bagley. Hartenstein left elbow driving, and then Bagley the foul. And Hartenstein, we're going to line to shoot two.
Boy, nice little pivot move by Hartenstein. Dave, think about, we've seen him during the course of his career. How much better has he gotten?
Oh, yeah, no question.
He was a G League guy. And, he plays from the high post, low post, excellent passer. That was a nice little spin drop step move to the basket because he felt Bagley on one side, drop step to the other.
99-86. Well, he's a story that wouldn't happen if there wasn't the G League.
Right.
And there's so many of those now.
That's right.
Throughout. Well,
I love the G League.
Look at the Wizards. Chris Middleton.
Yep.
If there's no G League, does he end up in Europe? What happens to him? 99-86 the score.
Now we have our Brian Albin, who's going to be doing play-by-play for the Go-Go in the G League.
Yes, which is very much a part of the Wizards ecosystem.
As soon as he got that job, he won't give me his autograph. I don't understand what happened there.
You're no longer in his ecosystem.
Not in his ecosystem.
Second free throw missed. 99-86. Now out front, Whitmore hands off to Middleton, edge of the circle. Right by Caruso. Middleton to his right elbow. Pass on the wing, and it goes out of play. He obviously thought Whitmore was where he wasn't. 99-86. Turnovers.
The Wizards trying to get momentum offensively, and they keep turning it over, and there's a turnover from the Thunder.
Hartenstein, an offensive foul. 8:56 to go. Well, again, the Wizards within striking distance. They've played hard enough, but not error-free. Carrington working right to left. Hands off to George. George right elbow drives on Hartenstein, and Hartenstein's going to get called for a foul. So he picks up his second personal in quick fashion. That'll be the first team foul on the Thunder. The Wizards, by the way, are up to 14 fouls, and we have 8:50 left here in the fourth quarter. Right sideline, Carrington. Inbound the ball to Middleton. Right of the lane, guarded by Caruso. Middleton puts his head down, drives toward lane, spins, finds Kispert left wing, to the left corner. He will shoot a three air ball as he was off balance when he shot it. 99-86 Thunder. Now up court, Kason Wallace. Left wing A.J. Mitchell. He'll take a three. No. George, a good box out, but Hartenstein got the rebound. George boxed out Hartenstein, but then the rebound came off long, and Hartenstein escaped to get it. Now Whitmore knocks it away from Wiggins. Center circle George to Whitmore. Under the basket. He weaves, banks, no, with Hartenstein on his back. And then Caruso, after the ball pinballed around, comes up with it. Now Mitchell, foul line. Pass on the corner to Wallace. Right elbow. Wiggins for coming and slamming Hartenstein. 101-86. Thunder, and the Wizards will call a timeout with 8:01 left in the fourth. Hartenstein makes good cuts to the basket.
Yes, he does.
And emphatic finishes.
And you know what? When he gets the ball in the high post, the four other players are cutting around. They're cutting off him because they know they're going to get it.
All right, we have a timeout. Hang on, gang. Stay with us. Keep checking if you like at Dave J Sports, at Glenn Consor. You're listening to the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Hey, Johnson back with Glenn Consor in Oklahoma City. Not easy for the Wizards with all their turnovers. 101-86. They're still fighting. They still have time, but they are down by 15. 8:01 left in the fourth quarter. Let's first pause 10 seconds. Station identification on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
You're listening to Washington Wizards basketball on WFED Washington and W232DG Sterling. Federal News Network, your home for Wizards basketball.
And you know what, my friends, we're brought to you by Capital One, offering checking and savings accounts with no fees or minimums. What's in your wallet? We certainly hope it's Capital One. All right, 101-86. And again, we're not trying to sugarcoat how competitive the Wizards have been. They outscored the Thunder in the third quarter. The second quarter was basically even, but they're being outscored in the fourth quarter 9-2. And again, now the turnover number is up to 20.
Yeah, and they're showing some nice things offensively, reversing the ball. They're hitting the open men. But assist-to-turnover ratio, which sometimes doesn't always dictate games, but in this case, 23 assists to 6 turnovers. 20 assists to 20 turnovers. It is hard to win a game that way. And the fact that OKC only has 6 turnovers, they played very efficient basketball.
Well, this is a critical point because the Wizards, before this, the biggest deficit was 14, and they always were within 2 in the third quarter. But now they're down by 15.
Still time.
They've always been able to keep it from going the other way. Once the lead gets this large. Coulibaly after a crossover for 3, rims out. And an open look, but rebound Isaiah Joe. 7:46 to go. Thunder look to extend their biggest lead. Caruso now at the point between the circles. Feeds to Isaiah Joe. Foul line behind him, Hartenstein. He'll hand off to Mitchell. Mitchell for Hartenstein, broken up by getting a loose ball. Dort, 5 o'clock. Caruso, left corner, Mitchell for 3. Drains it. With the shot clock winding down. 104-86, biggest lead. 18 points now suddenly for the Thunder. Oh, by the way, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander not played in the fourth. The pass by Middleton is broken up. Then it went off Dort as Coulibaly harassed him, but almost another turnover for the Wizards. So the theory, Shai Gilgeous not on the court, cut into the lead. That's not happened.
No. You know, Dave, what's jumping out at me, and I think you see the same thing, is the chemistry with this OKC team. You can see that they've been playing together for a number of years. You can see why they're champions. They're all connected like on a string, offensively and defensively. And the Wizards, quite frankly, such a young team, they're still trying, they're still learning each other, especially with Bilal back out there.
Again, it's not a scripted game, basketball, and that's where you have to have that innate understanding of each other. 104-86 Thunder, 7:10 to go, fourth quarter. Baseline left, working right to left, Coulibaly didn't have the ball. Now we're going to have a foul on the Wizards. As Lou Dort took the punishment, Keyshawn George commits the foul. So now... That's a turnover. That's a fourth on George. Just not finding any shred of momentum right now. Caruso, center circle, guarded by George. Right of the circle, A.J. Mitchell. 15 on the clock. Mitchell, left elbow, floats up. Hartenstein, stops 2 hands. 106-86, biggest lead. Now left the circle, Coulibaly. Right of the circle, George. Now George's pass is broken up by Hartenstein. Truck into the basket, hangs, banks, no, but Keyshawn George gets his 5th foul.
Boy, it's tough.
It is unraveling for the Wizards.
And it's the turnovers, Dave. You turn the ball over, you're losing opportunities. You're not valuing each possession down the stretch where maybe you could chip away at the lead. So we're not seeing that.
And that's the 5th team foul on the Wizards. 106-86, so this close game has been opened up as the free throw is made by Hartenstein, and now Aaron Wiggins returns to the game. So the Wizards had 17 turnovers after the third quarter. That turnover number is now up to 21. Second free throw, good, 108-106. Thunder on top. Wizards ball, left the circle, McCollum. McCollum, top of the arc, bounce pass Sarr in the paint. Coulibaly left corner, his pass out front, broken up by A.J. Mitchell. Mitchell foul line to the basket, switches hands, left-handed, he finishes. A swish right of the restricted arc, 110-86. This is not pretty right now. Out front, Sarr could use the 3, it's there. 110-89. Needed the three to at least quiet things a bit.
OKC has 26 points off of turnovers. That is a humongous number.
Hardenstein, top of the arc, left at top of the bounce pass, cutting Joe to the basket, and a goaltend by Alex Sarr. 112-89, Thunder. And again, still Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has not played any here in this fourth quarter. And they have not needed him. Chris McCollum now working right to left. Waiting for his Lou Dort. Bounce pass to Keyshawn George. Pass mark at the left wing. Cuts to his right. Off a Sarr screen. George, right elbow. His pass lane deflected. Comes out to McCollum. McCollum left wing outside the arc for three. It's there. Oh, not how you drew it up, but we'll take it. 112-92. Thunder. But the Thunder just so handsy, getting deflections. Center circle Wiggins. Right of the circle, A.J. Mitchell. Cuts to his left. Mitchell, left elbow, coasting the basket. Missed the layup, but a foul. C.J. McCollum from behind. And to our listeners, I hope it's coming through. The Thunder are very much in sync. As you watch them out there, they seem to know where... I'm talking about off the ball, the way they cut, and they understand each other, as you identified, Glenn.
But they're also, it's also a great organization for the Wizards to model how they've grown with their young players. You know, they made the trade for Shai, but these young players have evolved. You know, you got a guy like A.J. Mitchell, who is at the free throw line right now. Dave, he's averaging 18 points a game.
Yeah.
So, you know, you see all these guys like Hartenstein and Shai, but A.J. Mitchell is having a terrific year, and his defense has improved.
Makes both free throws. 114-92 with Thunder, 5:22 to go. Bilal Coulibaly, though, his first game back has
Looks
been
good.
impressive.
Yes, he
top
has.
of the arc. To his left, George. George, top of the key, foul line, pulls up, shoots too strong at the back of the iron. And battle for the rebound went to Aaron Wiggins. As Alex Sarr was surrounded, really couldn't get after that rebound. Wiggins now, right at the top, crossover, step back three, off the back of the iron, the rebound Sarr. 4:59 to go, ahead to Coulibaly. As we mentioned, Coulibaly, 16 points tonight. Also 3 block shots. Into Sarr, in the paint, spins, and scores. Top of the restricted arc, and one. Now, that was nice to see from Alex Sarr.
Yep.
114-94 is the score.
It's nice to see Will Riley getting some burn here for C.J. McCollum. First time we've seen him tonight.
Ousmane Dieng, just in the game, gets called for the foul. 3-point play for Sarr, 114-95. Sarr now at 11 points. Went off that 31-point performance against Philadelphia. Center circle Wiggins, 4:45 to go. Now front Jalen Williams, top of the arc, tested by Sarr. Now Isaiah Joe, back to Williams, top of the arc. Swinging in the left corner, Ousmane Dieng for three, just off the bench, he misses. Keyshawn George, the rebound. Now to Trey Johnson, top of the arc. Johnson, top of the key, off of Sarr's screen. Johnson going at Dieng, foul line. Switches hands, left side, he tried to finish, did not. And the rebound comes to Wiggins. 114-95 Thunder. Right wing outside the arc, Isaiah Joe, splash. He's got it, 117-95. And more often than not tonight, he has had it. That's his 5th three-pointer. Now Sarr, top of the arc. Hands up to George, right elbow. Spins, back out front Sarr. He tries a three, it's there.
There you go, Alex.
All right, Alex Sarr, nicely done. Has 117-98, 3:53 to go. You just want to see the Wizards play the right way.
Finish strong.
Finish strong.
Take care of the ball.
Yeah, no more turnovers. They've already had their allotment. Top of the arc, Jalen Williams. Foul line, one of the baskets. And Trey Johnson fouled him as he got in the restricted arc. 3:40 to go, 117-98. Thunder lead. Hey, your basketball night not done. The conversation always popping with Brian Albin and Chris Wright. As Williams to shoot two. And we, of course, got the Magic coming up. We're back home. And I'll tell you what, the fans were terrific on Tuesday night. So close to a victory against the Sixers, but as I think Alice and Bob pointed out, it was kind of a repeat of what the Sixers did to the Hornets when the Hornets had an 11-point lead, then lost to the Sixers in overtime. All right, 117.98. We're Justin Champagny. We're going to see A.J. Johnson get in.
There you go.
Hey, Bilal Coulibaly's night is done. 24 minutes, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists.
I'm happy. I'm happy with the way he played. He looked aggressive, Dave. He looked, spry, tough.
Brandon Carlson has come in for the Thunder. As Jalen Williams makes the free throw, 118.98. As both teams emptying their benches. A.J. Johnson, 3:36 to go. Vucevic, top of the arc. Hands off Will Riley, edge of the circle. Riley left elbow, jab step, spins, fades at the elbow, and scores. Wow, Will Riley created space and made 2 points. 118-100. Thunder. A.J. Mitchell crosses midcourt. Top of the arc, Jalen Williams. Got by Champagny. Back to Mitchell. Mitchell drives the basket. Bank. No. Trey Johnson. The rebound. Mitchell got right there but missed. Riley left wing. Feeds Vucevic. Turns. Banks and one. Good strong finish by Vucevic. Jalen Williams gets called for the foul. 118-102.
Will Riley comes in, gets a bucket. That was a spectacular pass by Will Riley, who's 19 years old. Did a great job looking underneath and finding Tristan. No look pass. I just think his upside is unlimited, Will Riley. So young. Judge him in 2 years, not now.
Vucevic makes the free throw, 118-103. 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Thank you for hanging out with us on this Thursday in Oklahoma City. Ousmane Dieng, top of the arc now. To Williams, hands off Joe, spins, right block, gets under the basket, feeds Jalen Williams, bottle the ball. Now Carlson, left wing for three, buries it. Brandon Carlson, 121-103. Now Trey Johnson for three. Oh, it's there!
Go, Trey.
Right back at you. 121-106. Thunder, 2:30 to go. Top of the arc, Jalen Williams. Clyde Owen just texted me and said, Alex Starr is developing as Isaiah Joe goes to basket. Seeing more and more from Alex Starr this season.
It's interesting that the Wizards now, Dave, have 3 Johnsons on their team.
Yeah.
AJ, Trey, and Dave. Huh?
That's right. Well, and if you combine AJ and Trey Johnson's ages together, you still don't get near my age. So, as we 121-106 blessed to continue to do this, and you realize when you're talking to some people, you make a reference about 1995, and you realize you're talking to somebody who wasn't born in 1995. Right. All right, the free throws made by Isaiah Joe, 122-106.
Like newspaper references.
Center circle now. A.J. Johnson to Will Riley. Riley, top of the arc, right elbow, rises, shoots off the rim, no. And rebound comes to Isaiah Joe. Now the Wizards, again, they will learn from this because this is a different game if they don't turn the ball over. Three-pointer by Jalen Williams is good, 125-106. And, the final score is not going to tell, if people listen and watch tonight, how the Wizards team approach this game. Johnson, left elbow, gets in the paint, out front A.J. Johnson, right elbow driving, Euro step, feeds Vucevic under the basket, gets his shot blocked by Brandon Carlson. 125-106. A nice pass by A.J. Johnson, though. There's a player we were introduced to with a massive slam dunk last year.
He's going to get more minutes, Dave, as the year goes on. So is Will Riley.
Former first-round pick of the Bucks. Ousmane Dieng in the paint, puts up a shot and scores. 127-106, a minute 22 left. Now up court, A.J. Johnson. Hash mark in the left wing. A.J. crossover, top of the key, foul line. Wheels to the basket. Ousmane Dieng blocks his shot. And he was trying to make something happen. 127-106 Thunder.
It doesn't get any easier when the Wizards are going to face off against the Magic, Dave. Another very good defensive team. Physical. Banchero and Suggs.
Vucevic out front to Riley, right of the circle. Riley cuts to his right, 8 on the clock. Left the circle, Trey Johnson, no. Long rebound, Champagny gets it. Hands off to Trey Johnson. Couple pump fakes, left wing Champagny's going to try a three. It's off the rim. Brandon Carlson gets a rebound. 53 seconds left. I was hoping that the brisket Caesar salad wasn't going to be my highlight of this trip, but apparently so. The Thunder, like defending champions, will find a way tonight. Right wing Youngblood is in. This is a three. Vucevic gets a rebound. 35 seconds left. 127-106.
Yeah, that brisket.
Vucevic. To A.J. Johnson.
That brisket Caesar salad, Dave?
That was great.
Yeah. That was really good. But that's like having a hamburger with a Diet Coke. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Trey Johnson makes a runner off 1 foot, makes it 127-108. And the Thunder are going to dribble it to their 6th win of the season.
Undefeated.
And the Wizards will fly home tonight and get ready for the Orlando Magic coming up on Saturday at Capital One Arena. All right, Michelob Ultra postgame show is on the way next. Brian Allen, Chris Wright, and much more. And as always, we're there for you 24/7 at Wizards Radio 24/7 on the Wizards app and WizardsRadio247.com. The final tonight in Oklahoma City, the Thunder 127, Wizards 108. More in a moment on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. Out to McCollum for three off the rim. Long rebound comes out to Wiggins. Wiggins working right to left. Goes to Coulibaly. Jump step. Gets in the lane. Coulibaly, the spot. Now in transition, McCollum driving, and he is fouled by Cason Wallace. How about Coulibaly getting back and denying?
Well, now you really can see the versatility of this team when Coulibaly is on the floor. He's 6'7". He was the one that got back and did a great job. But the switchability of all these guys, Chris Middleton, Keyshawn George, Bilal now, and Alex, those guys, you know, it doesn't matter who they're guarding. They're all going to get back on defense. They can switch, pick and roll switch, dribble handoff switch.
Here comes in a low road. Gilgeous Alexander, back left wing. Wiggins, he has a look from three. It's off the rim. Here's a long rebound. Coulibaly chases it down, racing up court. Elbow to the basket. Oh, slam to hands. Welcome back, Bilal. His first 2 points. And emphatic 11-6 Wizards on top.
You know who he looked like there on that defensive play? He looked like Sean Marion. Stepping in the passing lanes and pushing the ball up the floor. Boy, it's good to have Bilal back.
Right corner, Dort for three off the rim. Long rebound, but snapping it in is Coulibaly. Center circle. Driving. Oh, slam! Right in!
Sweet.
Spring loaded. 72-62. Makes it a 10-point game. And Coulibaly, I don't know what he's having.
And what you just heard there, a highlight package of Bilal Coulibaly's welcome back game. Of course, had not played since March 8th of last season when he went down with an injury against the Toronto Raptors. Missed the first 4 games of this season after recovering from thumb surgery after having a thumb injury in the FIBA Euro Cup against Georgia. He returns tonight, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks in 24 minutes. Brian Albin, Chris Wright with you here on the Michelob Ultra post-game show as the Wizards fall to the Thunder 127-108. You just heard Dave Johnson, Glenn Consor talking about how this came down to turnovers. 23 for the Wizards, just 6 for the Thunder. So don't want to focus too much more on that since they just covered it. Let's talk about Bilal Coulibaly, what he showed in his 24 minutes on the court tonight and what he'll be bringing back to the Wizards lineup.
For me, Bilal showed a little bit of poise today. He showed that he was comfortable in his position. I think Coach Keith did a great job of starting him in this game. Letting him start his first game, come in, get his feel for him, get his legs under him. The first play that I like, he got the ball in transition, made a kick out pass to Keyshawn George for a 3. You know, so the way he was playing, he got out in transition, got a steal, a dunk. I was really happy to see him out there playing at a high level. You know, he just seemed really relaxed out there. He got a nice block in transition on Aaron Wiggins in transition. So it was a lot of things that he was doing out there that were positive. And you can still see that he was still trying to knock the rust off, and find his rhythm. But overall, it was good to see him look healthy and fluid out there. I really like what I saw out of him.
And not just knocking the rust off, to some extent, playing against the scouting report.
Right.
Oklahoma City obviously was willing to give him space out on the perimeter, sort of dare him to shoot, it felt like. And he was able to hit a couple early threes, finished 2 of 7 from distance. But what he did a really nice job of, I thought, was, look, if they're going to make it tough for me to get to the rim in the half court based on just how they're covering me, any chance I get in transition to see a little open floor, that's when I have to think I'm getting 2 feet into the paint and hopefully flushing it down with one hand. And we saw on a couple occasions him being able to win the race down the floor, get to the rim, get an easy dunk.
Yeah, one thing, the big thing about Bilal is that he's fills the stat sheet. If you look at his stat sheet, he had 16 points. He had 3 block shots, 3 turnovers, had a steal, 4 assists, 8 rebounds. He's one of those guys that's kind of all over the court, uses his length, his athleticism, his speed to kind of impact the game in many ways. So more so than points or any type of highlight plays, his ability to be just a pest, getting deflections, getting steals, getting offensive rebounds, second chance points, just that's his motor right now. And as he does that, those easy points will come. And I think that's why we saw him getting out in transition, because he was being aggressive on the ball, very active with his hands. And that's why we saw him get out in transition dunks and seeing him be, his athletic self.
And another welcome sign in this game, I was doing a little bit of looking through the early stats on this Wizards team as part of the Wizards Power Hour earlier today. And one of the things that's been showing up in a great way for the team has been 3-point shooting.
Yes.
As a team so far, that they've been 11th in the league coming into the night at over 38% from distance, a huge increase over where they were last season. And they were at 38% despite the fact that CJ McCollum, a career 40% guy, was only shooting about 28% to start the year. Well, tonight he found the range, 5 of 8 from distance. How good is it to see CJ sort of back to his typical form?
Yeah, CJ just got to get in rhythm. He's a pro's pro. He knows the NBA game. He understands how the rhythm of the game, the motion of the game. He understands where to get his shots. If you ever watched him in that time period where he's struggling to find his shot, you never saw him one time get frustrated. You never saw him one time change his facial expression or get down about himself. He just understands the game. He understands the way the game plays and the flows of the NBA. And the more you play, the more reps you get, the better the outcome will probably be. And again, this goes back to what Keith said in preseason. They want to shoot at least 40 threes a game. They want to shoot a lot of threes because they have a lot of guys that can shoot. They have a lot of skilled players. They have a lot of shot makers. Keyshawn George shoots the ball. Chris Middleton. Everybody in the starting lineup, is a fairly good shooter. Then you come off with Bub and Trey and Corey. There's a lot of guys that can score the basketball from the 3-point, that are really threats from the 3-point line. So I think it kind of plays to our advantage to not only play fast, but shoot a lot of threes because we're a young team.
And tonight, another night where it translated. They hit 17 of 40 from deep, good for 43%. So that season-long percentage going to take a tick up. Next time out, though, the Wizards will be facing one of the better teams at covering the three-point line in the NBA. The Orlando Magic only allowing 11 three-pointers made against per game. That is 5th best in the NBA so far this season. They are 2nd best in three-pointers attempted against, only allowing opponents to shoot 31 per contest. Wizards will see if they can be just as efficient as they have been on their threes to start the year Saturday at 7 o'clock.
Let's go Wiz.
Well, what are you wearing shirt-wise? What is this?
Well, I'm a real Bullets fan. I've been a Bullets fan since Tom Gugliotta and Rex Chapman and Hot Plate Williams and Muggsy Bogues and Popeye Jones and, so I've been through the struggle, and I'm a D.C. area fan. I rep all my teams. Wizards, everybody, man. So you're my favorite of the 3 good squads we've had. You're homegrown. I like the energy you put out every night. I like the way you're coalescing as a team, and I can see great things for you in the future if you play for one another and keep it up.
Go Wizards! Wizards Radio 24/7.
Here on Wizards Radio 24/7, we're getting you ready for the 2025-2026 season, which in a sense opened in earnest on September 29th with Media Day, the start of Wizards training camp. And one of the highlights of last season was when the Wizards acquired Chris Middleton from the Milwaukee Bucks, bringing a stabilizing veteran presence to the locker room. In 82 games last season, the Wizards won 18. But of the 14 games that Chris Middleton appeared in, the Wizards won 6. And so they're hoping that his veteran leadership can lead the Wizards to a breakthrough season in 2025-2026. And he talked about his goals in year 14 in the league with Wizards Radio 24/7.
Chris, last year, one thing that jumped out at me was watching you on the road in practice, working with some of the young players, pulling them aside, showing them some post-up moves. This is a very young team. You know, your role as a leader on this year's team is going to be no different.
Yeah, it's just about, answering questions that they have and then supporting them on the court. I think that's what it's all about. It's not about me telling them what they're supposed to do, how it's supposed to go. That's their job to figure out their own path. But I'm just here to help.
For me, welcome back another season. This is what, year 16? 14? You're going to get there. No, for you've seen every phase of the game, starting in G League to being an intricate player of a contender to winning a title to now being a veteran and having that experience. What's your motivation at this stage? You've accomplished so much. You've been in the big games. You've been in the bad games. You've been in the best locker rooms. You've been in the worst locker rooms. What's the motivation now at this point to continue to continue to play?
I would say just, for my love for the game. I feel like I still have a lot left in the tank. It's just about day by day enjoying what I'm doing. So it's really not about setting an expectation on myself. I never really did that in the past. It's all about trying to attack each day and being better each day. That's just the way we get to the next day and continue to play.
It's a league it's a game of fine margins. So many great players. Everybody is a great player. And think about your journey and making it to the NBA. We had Justin Champetti earning a contract. What is if there's a secret, I don't know if it's a secret, but what separates and what gets people to that next level?
I think it's just about, consistency, your daily habits, doing things the right way. A lot of times it doesn't show up overnight. It takes, a couple years, a year or two. Some guys it happens faster, some guys happen slower. But all those guys who are great and, in 10 plus years have found a way to be consistent.
Is part of that what's going on? Brian Keefe said you had a purposeful, the whole team, off season. Is part of the real foundation for that, the off season, so to speak?
Yeah, that's what it starts. It doesn't start day one of training camp. It starts really the day after your last game. Planning how you're going to prep for the upcoming season, figure out how you're going to attack the summer to accomplish your goals. And then once training camp starts, now you figure out what the team's success is going to be like once we get everybody in the same room together.
What's some of the things you worked on this summer, knowing the situation that you're coming into with this extremely young team?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it was just, come in, as fresh and healthy. I think I use this, or I want to use this as a fresh start this season. First time I've had a summer where I didn't have procedure or international basketball for quite some time. So my goal was just to get as fresh as I could and be mentally prepared coming into this season.
And what is more exhausting, one media day or 2 practices?
I will go with 2 practices. You guys are easy on us this year. I love it.
And one of the interesting questions with Middleton is just how exhausting will his 2025-2026 season be? You may remember when he was traded to the Wizards from Milwaukee, he was coming off of an injury. So in his 14 appearances in D.C., he averaged 22 minutes per game. Will we see that load go up in the 2025-26 season? Could we potentially see it go down? All interesting questions to follow with Chris Middleton as he approaches his 14th season in the NBA, and we're certainly happy to have him in Washington, D.C.
Go Wizards! Wizards Radio 24/7.
Thursday night was a strong return to the Wizards lineup for Bilal Coulibaly. He had 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, but in a 127-108 Wizards loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And on the Michelob Ultra post-game show, Glenn Consor and Dave Johnson broke it down.
I want you to put your analyst hat on. You ready? Is it on?
I'm ready.
All right. If I would have told you that the Wizards would shoot 45% from the field and outshoot the Thunder, who shot 44% from the field. If I would have told you that the Wizards would have shot 42% from three and the Thunder would have shot 32% from three, if I would have told you that the Wizards would shoot 88% from the free throw line and OKC would shoot 82% from the free throw line, and if I would have told you that the Wizards out-rebounded the Thunder 49-47, would you think the Wizards won this game when they in fact lost 127-108? What was the reason?
Well, the reason was turnovers, which we identified as because those numbers you gave were a recipe for perhaps an upset tonight.
And which showed some progress from the Wizards' standpoint.
And again, their approach to the game tonight, I think about 26 assists on 38 million field goals. They were making a lot of good decisions. Now, obviously, if you have 23 turnovers, there's some poor decisions that counterbalance that.
Right.
But this is where you judge the growth of the team in micro steps, not big picture. And again, the Thunder were a team, they won 68 games last year. 68.
That's more than 67.
Yes, and the point is they're building off a championship with a core
and you
group.
could see the chemistry with this team. You could, and chemistry sometimes equates to turnovers or lack thereof. 6 turnovers they had for the whole game.
Yep.
That's an incredibly efficient game. Given the fact that I just mentioned all these percentages that the Wizards won on, which is field goal, 3-point field goal, even free throw shooting, Wizards won in those categories. But when you're throwing 23 turnovers and getting 20, OKC had 26 points off of those turnovers. The Wizards only had 5 points the whole game off of the 6 turnovers. That was the game.
That was a game. Not a lot to really overanalyze on this one. But
maybe I should do play-by-play one game, and you should be the analyst.
Well, that'd be just fine.
Huh?
We'll try that one time. Yeah,
we won't. I'm not doing it.
Might as well switch positions. But we got lots of basketball talk, NBA talk with Brian and Chris still to come on the Michelob Ultra post-game show. But bottom line, just so great to have Bilal Coulibaly.
Yes, it was. Yeah, tremendous job. And he was aggressive. He made some threes. I thought he rebounded well, Dave. He had 3 block shots, looked bouncy, looked aggressive, and that's the key. And I like the fact that he was looking to score, because if there's any improvement in his game, is that quick twitch ability to get to the basket, and that seems to be improving.
Bring it on. More from Bilal Coulibaly, which will be on Saturday against Orlando.
And that game against Orlando is Saturday night at 7 o'clock. That means pregame coverage will start at 6:45 right here on Wizards Radio 24/7 and the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
This is Dave Johnson, voice of the Washington Wizards, and we are so glad you're locked in right here on Wizards Radio 24/7.
I love the game, fast-paced game.
What is the latest with the Wizards? What happened this morning at shoot-around? Is this player going to start, not going to start?
I love the superstars.
What is the matchup like, the key matchup for the game? That's what you're going to find, the very latest.
Ball movement, shots, dunks. What's not to love about it?
The scouting report. You will have some of the notes that we can share with you.
I love the game, man. Love the game.
24/7. You get the latest on the Washington Wizards, and I do mean the latest.
Wizards Radio 24/7 is the best app you can get.
Wizards Radio 24/7.
That's a magic number. Yes, it is. It's the magic number.
As we roll along here on the Wizards Power Hour, it's time for another edition of One Player, Three Things. I'm taking a look at the returning pieces of this Washington Wizards young core and highlighting 3 stats where a change upwards could lead to an improvement in their games. And today we're focusing on third-year man Bilal Coulibaly. Coulibaly is yet to take the court this season as he continues to heal from surgery to his right thumb that repaired a ligament tear. This, of course, a different injury than the one that ended his 2024-2025 season when this happened.
Right to left. Coulibaly shadowed that backcourt by Lawson. Coulibaly in the center circle. Bounce pass over on the right side. Vucevic to Coulibaly. Foul line drive. Poster out of battle. Then Coulibaly ends up on the deck.
Did not like the way he came down.
He is pulled down. A foul on Jamison Battle. And then Battle's going to the sideline.
Looked like he came down on his head or his neck as he was kind of undercut after he threw it down, and that was a nasty throwdown. I'm a little worried about Bilal on this one. I didn't like the way he came down, Dave.
Coulibaly's still down. We can see him shaking his head.
Yes, it was a Coulibaly throwdown, but a hard fall that ended his 2024-2025 season. But the first thing I'm hoping we'll see from Bilal when he returns to action is a continued desire to make things happen in the paint. By the end of his season last year, Coulibaly was seemingly trying to dunk it on everybody. And by the end of that season, he had averaged 8 drives a game and showed the ability to explode for the big dunks like the one you just heard. But despite his physical gifts, he didn't quite produce the offensive efficiency from those drives, is what the Wizards believe he will one day be able to do. He shot 41% from the floor when driving to the basket, which is below the 42% he shot from the floor for the season. And he only assisted on 7% of his drives, which was well below his assist percentage for the season of 15%. When he returns, hopefully we'll see him remain intent on getting 2 feet in the paint, but we will also hope to see Coulibaly raise that field goal percentage on drives north of 45% and show a little more creation for teammates as well when he's in attack mode. The second thing I'll be watching for Coulibaly is a consistent theme for him, which is can he improve as a three-point shooter? After shooting an impressive 35% from 3 as a rookie, Coulibaly regressed to 28% in his sophomore campaign. And even when Coulibaly was taking wide open looks, characterized as shots where there was more than 6 feet of space between he and the closest defender, he shot just 31% from 3. When he returns to the floor, I think the goal should be to see if he can get back up to at least 33% from 3. Otherwise, it'll start to be time to maybe start filtering those shots out of his diet and see how to make him more effective in the paint. And then finally, the third thing I'll be watching for Coulibaly will be on the defensive side of the ball. It was a wildly successful second season for Bilal in terms of contesting opponents' shots.
And the Wizards have had some physical matchups this week, specifically against the Nets. Wow, Coulibaly, the rejection. Bridges, gets a foul line. His jumper, no good. And Alex Sarr gets rebound. What a block by Bilal Coulibaly.
A season ago, when Coulibaly was the closest defender, opponents shot only 44% from the field. That's after they shot 51% against him the season prior. That improvement was in part due to learning tendencies of opposing stars, but it also had a lot to do with the strength he added from his rookie season to the next. This year, though, I want to see him become an even more disruptive force in taking possessions away. Last season, Coulibaly led the team with 2.6 deflections per game while grabbing 1.3 steals and nearly blocking a shot per game.
It was almost like the Hawks were mesmerized by Sarr's ball handling. Lob by Johnson, intended for Young, intercepted by Coulibaly. 60-51. Coulibaly, Sarr going to the basket, running right-handed. No fouls. Yes! And a flex from Bilal Coulibaly. 15 for Coulibaly, 60-53 Hawks.
Love how they're pushing the pace.
The thing is that I think Coulibaly might be capable of more than that. I want to see all 3 of those numbers go up for Bilal in year 3, as he is such a gifted athlete with strong defensive instincts that I think he can get his hands on more balls without necessarily having to gamble to get them. His evolution into a defensive stopper will continue to be so important to the potential growth of this Wizards team. There you have it, another edition of One Player, 3 Things, this time for Bilal Coulibaly. Whenever he makes his season debut, just know I'll be tracking how he grows in these 3 areas, and I'll be keeping you up to date with his growth on Wizards Radio 24/7 all season long. And with that, it's time for a flag.
Wizards Radio 24/7.
You are listening to the Michelob Ultra Post Game Show. Wizards fall tonight, 127-108 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's time now to hear from head coach Brian Keefe.
I thought we did some really positive stuff against a high-level team, obviously a championship-level team in a hostile environment. We played toe-to-toe with them pretty much for 3 quarters, and we're doing a lot of positive things we can learn from. Great to have Bilal back. And you can see his physicality, his force, is what he brings to the game, so that was terrific to see. And obviously, they made a little bit of a run there, which they do. They can put their hands on you, cause some turnovers. But for the most part, I was really pleased with a lot of things we did, a lot of stuff we can take into our next game and grow from.
How did Bilal impact the defense tonight?
You can just feel his physicality. Obviously, you can see the shot blocking stuff, but just his size, his length, his ability to cut people off. Pretty good for having played a game since over in Riga. So that's a pretty good outing for him.
Can you explain to us your rationale as to why you structured the lineup the way you did?
Like I said, it's early in the year. We're trying different combinations, see what works. We want to see what that looked like tonight with Bilal in the lineup. It gives us that defensive presence, that size. It gives Bob an opportunity to run the second unit and really push the pace, which I thought the second unit was really good tonight. They gave us some really good stretches in both quarters, both halves, I mean. So I thought he did a good. So things are fluid with our team. Things will change over the years, but we wanted to see what that looked like. We'll probably stay with that way for a little bit.
What did you think about Bilal's defense on Shea in particular?
He's tough, as everybody knows. This is the reason that they're a really good team. They got a really good lead player. Try to make it tough on him. Try to be physical on him. Guy hits some tough shots. You got to pat him on your back when he does that. But just his overall impact on the game, you could feel it was nice to have him out there.
23 turnovers. Their defense is obviously known for doing that. What did you see them doing that led to those miscues by you guys?
They're a physical team. It's great lessons to learn. They put their hands on you. They're physical. They want you to play in crowds. The positive part is when we were making the simple passes, getting it off, we were getting great shots, and that was what was keeping us in the game. So there's stuff that we can learn from that. And then they amped up the pressure, and that's when they went on there a little bit of a run. But when we were getting off that ball quick and really sharing it, we were getting some good stuff, and guys had a lot of good minutes out there tonight.
At the end of the day, though, it was the point-off turnover differential that ended up deciding the game 26-5 in favor of Oklahoma City. Rotations will certainly be an interesting topic of conversation moving forward. A new starting lineup for the Wizards tonight with the return of Bilal Coulibaly. Brian Keefe telling us that this will likely be the starting lineup for at least the foreseeable future. They're going to try and give him a nice little sample size to work with to get a sense of how this lineup works. Will continue to be interesting to see how the bench is able to perform as well. Now with Bub Carrington sliding into a bit of a sixth-man type role, the Wizards bench did end up contributing 41 of the team's 108 points on the night. Next up, the Wizards return home to take on the Orlando Magic Saturday at 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage will begin at 6:45 on the Washington Wizards Radio Network, as well as right here on Wizards Radio 24/7.
This is Rob Baywatch Boy Embry here in L.A., and I'm connected to the radio party. Now back to Dave and Glenn on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
Left corner, Trey Johnson, 13 on the clock. Out front, George, top of the arc. George, right elbow, gets in the paint, crowded. Coulibaly, right wing outside the arc for three. It's there.
Nice to see.
He was open. He scored. 55-49. Thunder. Bilal Coulibaly, no rust.
Definitely a welcome back to Bilal Coulibaly. He showed out nicely on this Thursday night. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 block shots in 24 minutes, but in a 127-108 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Brian Albin, Chris Wright with you here on the Michelob Ultra Post Game Show. And so the Wizards fall to 1-4 on the season with the loss tonight. It will not get a ton easier as they take on the Orlando Magic Saturday in Capital One Arena, a team that coming into the season pretty widely regarded as maybe the third best team in the East. But off to a slow start. They did get a step in the right direction tonight. 123-107 Orlando did win in Charlotte to improve to 2-4. Paolo Banchero had 20 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. But when you talk about the Orlando Magic, Chris, what's sort of the first thing that comes to your mind about what that team is?
Well, they always been a defensive-minded. Coach Mosley, Jamal Mosley, has always been a very extremely defensive-minded team, and they play through their superstar, all-star wings. That's the identity and brand of that team. Unfortunately, as we discussed before, they haven't really been playing that elite-level defense, and one of their elite-level wings has not had the start to the season that you expect him to have in Paolo Banchero. Tonight, he had one of those games where he had, 8 for 12, 20 points, 9 rebounds. Now he had one of those Paolo Banchero games. So, hopefully going against us, it wasn't like a just a starter kit, and he's going to, start revving it up now. But that's been the struggle for them so far. And also, I think it's the expectations of them actually being the top dog now. You're no longer the hunt, you're the hunted now. You're no longer the hunter. People are coming after you. People expect great things from you. Same thing with Detroit. Detroit's kind of in that same boat, but they're a year behind Orlando. But, I think if they're able to stay healthy and figure out this first little stepping block, they could still be one of those top 3 teams in the league, but they just have to get their superstar to play a little bit better. Yeah. And I think he might be on pace to do that.
And the funny thing is the defense, adding Desmond Bain, taking away Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, good defender out on the perimeter, but nobody's really ever said anything wrong about Desmond Bain as a defender, sort of neutral, not elite, but not bad, not a problem on that end. And Orlando coming into the night, or actually even after the win tonight, we're talking about a team that's been top 3 in the NBA in defense the last 2 seasons. Even after winning tonight so far, the season's really early. Doesn't mean they might not get back there, but they're 21st in defense right now, allowing about 9 points more per 100 possessions than what they were allowing a season ago. It's kind of inexplicable to some extent when you really think about what we're seeing so far from the Orlando Magic, because Orlando has all the pieces to still be very good on the defensive end, and they're still doing a good job of taking away the 3-point line. They're 5th in the league so far in their 3-pointers allowed, but they're still struggling on that end, giving up a lot of stuff at the rim. And so you have to think the Wizards are going to have to come into this game attack-minded, thinking, how can we get to the paint first?
Yeah, I think with the Orlando Magic, once their superstar starts playing like a superstar, that settles a lot of things for them. That puts a lot of the chaos into his rightful place. So if Paolo Banchero continues down this path, and maybe just started off to a slow start, and he's turning the corner now, then we're going to have our hands full because he's a big forward. I like our matchups against this team because of the size. They don't have, other than Wendell Carter, we match up size-wise pretty well. With Bilal coming back, we match up Sarr, Keyshawn, Chris Middleton. It's pretty favorable matchups across the board. So how well we play, how well we'll be able to play defensively, how well we'll be able to take care of the ball, because I think now, having a good win against Charlotte, I'm sure Coach Mosley is going to go to the film and say, this is why we did this. This is why we're successful. Going back to their defensive principles, going back to their defensive identity, playing downhill with Banchero and Wagner is their identity. So I think this game gives them confidence to even maybe play, even more of their brand of basketball going forward.
Yeah, coming into the night, we're talking about the struggles of Paolo Banchero. He's been averaging 23 points and 9 rebounds before tonight, but he was only shooting 40% from the floor, was shooting 16% from 3, and was only averaging 3 assists per game. Right. Tonight he had 9 assists, so that's obviously going to bump way up in a small sample size. But Franz Wagner has been playing very well. Franz Wagner has been averaging 22.5 points per game. He's been shooting at 53% from the floor, 42% from 3. It's certainly a frightening wing duo. Desmond Bain's shooting hasn't come around quite yet, only 27% so far from 3, but still a very big challenge in the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I think Franz Wagner is a continuation of his Eurobasket, of his summer, of his elite play this summer with the German national team. And, them winning the championship. And, so he's coming to the season in tip-top shape. He's coming already. It's no rust to knock off. He's coming to prove a point. I think that Orlando Magic, and in particular Franz Wagner, are trying to prove that they are elite. And I think they probably take a little hit in the beginning of the season, just trying to figure out things. But one of their marquee players, Franz Wagner, has been steady. So, it's going to be really important to see how we match up with a we haven't really had big wings that we played against like this. So this gives us a different look for our young guys and how we match up and how we're able to, hopefully keep them off the boards, because they have been missing a lot of shots. So can we keep them off the offensive rebounds? Can we keep, even in this game, the first possession of the game against OKC, they might have had 4 offensive rebounds in the first possession. So how well can we get stops and finish possessions off, I think, against a team like this that's going to be going downhill attacking the basket is going to be a big deciding factor in the game.
And definitely a good test to have Bilal Coulibaly back for. That game Saturday night will be a 7 o'clock start in Capital One Arena. That means pregame coverage will start at 6:45 right here on Wizards Radio 24/7 and on the Washington Wizards Radio Network.
DC family, this is Wizards Radio 24/7.
You're listening to Wizards Radio 24/7. Media Day got training camp underway on September 29th as the 2025-2026 season is finally here. And one of the returning faces for this year's Wizards team will be Corey Kispert. Not too many Wizards over the past decade have been able to do what Corey Kispert can claim, that he is a first-round pick of the Wizards to sign a second contract with the team. He will start that second contract this year, his 5th in the NBA, which makes him, along with Anthony Gill, the longest tenured Wizards on this roster. And he spoke about, despite being only 26 years old, his role as a veteran leader of this team.
Good morning, Corey. How
you doing?
I'm
well.
Longest tenured Wizard.
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah, UNAG. Your thoughts on how things are shaping up for you this season and what you're looking to accomplish with this new batch of a lot of young players?
Yeah, I mean, it went by in a blink of an eye. I can't believe I can say that I'm one of the longest, if not the longest, tenured Wizard. And each year has looked incredibly different than the last. And so there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of, even though I feel like I've been around the block and I've been here a long time and I know a lot of your faces, there's a lot of new that comes with it. And kind of freeing yourself from any expectations and taking things as they come has been a recipe for me to improve year over year. A lot of times when I have strong expectations, both of myself and of the team or whatever, I tend to grip the wheel really hard and try to force it to make it happen. And that is a recipe for disaster. So this year I'm kind of going to be more go with the flow. And usually that ends up, making things turn out the way you want it to. It's kind of a weird way that life works. So I'm committed to being a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more, expectation free in a lot of different ways coming into this year.
Off the court for you, we know you're a proficient golfer.
Right.
Is there anything that you would like to say to anybody else in the basketball universe who might have any questions about who the most proficient golfer in the league is?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that video that the NBA posted earlier kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I felt left out. I felt excluded. I had FOMO. So this is kind of an opportunity to stack myself up against anybody else in the league. Ready to take on that opportunity in whatever way it shows up, whether it's in the off season or in season. I'm ready for it.
Corey, how did your recovery go on your thumb, and how did it impact what you were able to do on the court?
Yeah, thank God for modern surgery. By the time I left here, which was about a week after the season ended, it felt like I had a brand new thumb. And after that, it was a little bit of physical therapy, and I barely noticed it, barely recognized that I had surgery, and was able to make a full off-season push coming into this year. Really grateful for the surgeon that took care of me, and the process of all of that from the team, helping me out with recovery to physical therapy at home and things like that. Absolute non-factor coming into this season, and I'm really grateful for that.
Christy Winter-Scott, Monumental. Corey, you said that you want to come in a little more expectation-free, but knowing you in the last couple of years, you've always had at least one specific thing that you wanted to come into the season with. And I know as being a competitor, it's tough to be expectation-free.
Right.
But if there is something specific, what would that be for you coming into this year that you want to see from yourself?
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I guess I need to clear that up. Expectation-free is probably the wrong term, but maybe holding my expectations a little lighter is a better way to put it. I need to be more aggressive this year for our team to have success and for me to have success. I play the right way. I play a good brand of basketball. I think I have a really high IQ on the court, and asserting myself on the game more, whether it's scoring or defense, rebounding, physicality, are all ways that I can help this team out. And in a lot of different ways. When I am my most aggressive and I am my most assertive, it helps our team. We play better basketball that way, and it's a way that I can, make an impact on the court. And so aggression, assertiveness, and kind of making the other team feel my impact right away is something that I want to take head on this year. No matter how many minutes I play or when I play or who we play against, that imprint on the game needs to be the same no matter what.
And to your point, in terms of leadership, you're in kind of that same-ish generation where you have like the younger ones behind you and the older ones ahead of you. But what do you want your leadership style to be in that regard?
Yeah, I want to have the energy of a young guy but play like a vet. That's kind of the mix of the both. And that's the blessing of being in the middle, is you can kind of take the best from both ways. I'm smart enough to know better than a lot of the rookies on our team, and I'm expected to not make the mistakes that they might. But I also have I have a lot less miles on my legs than some of the older guys on our team too. So to be able to bounce back and forth and be the bridge between the two is a really unique opportunity. And we have talked as a team about the unique opportunity that we have person to person. And I would argue that my opportunity personally is just about as unique as anybody here.
Megan McPeak, Mighty Mouse Sports. Corey, before the thumb injury and then surgery, you seemed like you found your rhythm in BK's offense and kind of figuring out how to play, how he wanted you to play, and how you fit within the offense. How much can you take away from that now that you're healthy heading into this season, knowing personnel has changed, but your role can be the same, kind of tying into you knowing that you have to be more aggressive?
Yeah, aggression was the reason why I started to play well before I got hurt. And it was not just, a week of playing well. It was a sustained period. Like, I had a really tough start to last year, and a lot of that was figuring it out and figuring out where I landed in the mix of everything. And when I found my stride, I really found my stride. And aggression was a big part of that. And so, whether I'm, last year I came off the bench and like being an impact player from the moment that my foot hit the floor, the middle of the first quarter was a huge emphasis, and that was something that I can carry into this year. I don't have a luxury of getting warmed up on the court. I don't have a luxury of finding my rhythm and getting into the field of the game. Like, that has to happen immediately. And a lot of reps of that last year, which I can take into this year, will do nothing but help me and help our team.
And last year, you and I had spoke a couple of times about the defense, and you wanted to take strides on that end of the floor, and you taking it personal, that people were hunting you out as the matchup. What does that next step look for you heading into the season on the defensive end for you, and what's the mindset you're going into it with?
Yeah, aggression doesn't just stop on the offensive side of the ball. I've been blessed with a big frame, an athletic frame, and this year is about using that to my advantage. Taking the fight to the offensive player rather than sitting back and reacting. You see a lot of the best defenders in the league dictating what's going on rather than reacting to the things that other people do. This last year was about taking things personally, and I feel like I took a big step in that direction. And now, again, it's imprinting my will on the game on both sides of the ball, defense included. So using more of the abilities that I have to my advantage rather than trying to figure out as I go. Going into year 5, I feel like I have a really good idea of the player that I am and the player that I can be. I can maximize the role that I'm in. I know which ways I want to expand my game, and being comfortable in my own skin has allowed me to take some pretty cool steps this offseason that I'm really excited to show. And, the defensive side of the ball is obviously a huge part of that, and I think I can expect to be a much different and a much better version of myself, especially on that end.
Corey, how you doing?
What's up?
Bijan Todd, Mighty Mouse Sports Network. As the longest tenured Wizard, how do you feel your first impressions of the newcomers, specifically Trey Johnson and Cam Whitmore?
Yeah, they work. That's the first impression. Really impressed by the way that they carry themselves and by the way they handle their business. We do not lack for hours spent in the gym, and that's a really good place to start. It's hard to coach work ethic. It's hard to coach, desire and want. You can shape up the rough edges when it comes to schemes and plays and cohesiveness and chemistry, but you can't teach somebody to get into the gym and want it. And these guys have that, and that's a really exciting place to start. Obviously, the season will shake out the way it does, But if you're starting from that point of guys being in the gym and wanting to get better, actually getting better becomes a lot easier.
Hey, Corey, last year, the defensive improvement started at a very elemental level, right? It was, okay, let's make sure we get the low man straight first. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like over the course of the season, you guys figured that out. They talk about jump seasons here. Where is the jump season defensively as you see it for this group?
Yeah, I think the jump season comes in a mentality more than like a elemental part of it, like you talked about. There were times last year where we showed it. We'd play the big dogs, we'd play the teams that are, at the top of the standings, and we took the fight to them. And then there were other games where we laid down, quite frankly. And no matter who we play this year and no matter what environment or where we are, the mentality can't change. You have to take stuff personally. You have to own your matchups, no matter who is wearing the jersey on the other side, whether it's a Hall of Famer or a rookie. That stuff is really easy to get into your head when you're a young team and you can play to the level of the team that you're playing against. But we want to change our identity as a team and as an organization, and we want to be a place that people aren't so excited to go play. We want teams to leave sore and tired and frustrated, and that can't change depending on who you're playing.
Corey, Will talked about how last year minutes were given rather than earned. Mm-hmm. What did that look like to you, and how will it look different this year in a year where everyone's talked about more competition? Yeah,
we, as a player in this league, you want to invite competition, and you want to invite a meritocracy, and you want to invite the opportunity to go earn it for yourself. And when you play on a game where that sometimes isn't the case, that can be frustrating at points, certainly. Zooming out and knowing where we are or as an organization is a good reminder that step is necessary, and it's part of the process of becoming the organization and the place that you want to play in and you want to be a part of as we rise the ranks and become a better team throughout the years. I'm so happy that everybody in this organization and in our locker room feels like they have an even chance to go get it, and that allows the cream to rise to the top. And it allows the best players to earn the most minutes. And that's all you want as a player. Whether that shakes out in your favor or not, at least you were given the chance. And having an opportunity to go earn it and to go make your claim on the season is what we live for. And so having an even playing field to start this season feels really refreshing. And it's a way that you can bake competition in before the games even start.
What do you think will look different about your game this season?
I think just the way I carry myself on the court. It's a mark of moving along in your career. There's milestones, and signing a second contract is a big milestone for players in the league. And you can actually wear that with confidence and wear that with pride. People know that about you. They're going to come at you in a different way, but you also know that your feet are settled and you've made your mark and you're here. And so I can kind of have that in my back pocket and move with a lot more confidence now this year than I ever have before. And so the confidence and the swag and the aggression and assertiveness is going to be the biggest change, more than any specific skill set. But with the thing about confidence is that it often makes you a better player. And so things will look better. I will look better. Just because of the way that I approach the game and the way that I approach my job and the way I feel about where I am.
Hi, Corey. So many games in the NBA are won and lost on the three-point line.
Totally.
And you guys are obviously a very young team that might just get better at that over time. But what kind of steps do you think you can take to maximize what you do have in terms of personnel to improve as a three-point shooting team?
Totally. It starts with the type of threes that you're shooting. Not all threes are created equal, and it's important. And shooting them just to shoot them is not a good strategy. You have to make sure the right people are getting the right shots, and make sure that the open ones are the ones that you take, and you work for better ones. Again, the type of shots that different people get to shoot is not equal across the board. You have to funnel shots to people that are going to make them and make them at a high level, and that's what wins games. And so everybody needs to step up and shoot them with confidence. Some people more than others, and that's just the way it's going to shake out. But like you said, like games are won and lost there. And in order to win a lot of games in the NBA, you have to shoot them well. And so that comes with finding the right ones and taking them when you have them.
How can Trey Johnson help that cause?
He can shoot it, man. He tears the nets off these rims, and to have a guy that you can be in a bind, have anybody in the league where if you're in a bind offensively, you can throw it to him and let him work is a luxury. And he's wired to score, and he's wired to put the ball in the bucket. And having guys like that on your team as a safety blanket really is a luxury for everybody 1 through 12.
And the Wizards are certainly hoping that it's not just Trey Johnson who can be that luxury, but also a CJ McCollum, a Chris Middleton, a Cam Whitmore. We'll see what it looks like when the Wizards finally take the court on October 12th and get preseason action started against the Toronto Raptors at Capital One Arena at 3 o'clock.
This is Dave Johnson, voice of the Washington Wizards, and we are so glad you're locked in right here. And stay here on Wizards Radio 24/7. Bagley left at top of the key. Guarded by Jalen Williams. Hands off Kispert. Kispert, top of the key. Lob for Bagley. Stumped away. Kispert to Bagley. Touchdown. The Wizards within 2, 83-81.
Kispert's making all the right passes, decisions.
Yes, in fact, that's our easiest decision of the game. Thanks to Corey Kispert, our Capital One easiest decision of the game. It is brought to you by our good friends at Capital One. Wizards' upcoming home game presented by Ticketmaster back at Capital One Arena on Saturday night. The Orlando Magic in town. It's real simple to get tickets at Ticketmaster.com/Wizards. As you get to the game, stop by section 216 and stay low.
DC family. Wizards Radio 24/7.
Mitchell, top of the key, foul line. In the paint, blocked by Coulibaly. Ricocheted around, still loose. On the floor, getting it Dort. Left corner, Mitchell, 6 on the clock. Dort out front, Williams, 3 on the clock. Hands off Isaiah Joe. Back to Williams, has a look from 3 at the buzzer off the rim. No. Coulibaly is making his defensive difference. That's his second block. Yep. And that's our Leidos defensive player of the game. Bilal Coulibaly back tonight. 3 block shots for Bilal, also 1 steal. So we appreciate Leidos, as always, bringing our defensive play of the game. And by the way, Bilal Coulibaly, 5 of 8 in his return, including 2 of 5 beyond the arc. He's got 12 points and 6 rebounds.
This is Johnny from Alexandria. Go Wizards. Playoffs here we come. This is Wizards Radio 24/7.
We have reached October here on Wizards Radio 24/7, which means we are in the month that will commence this 2025-2026 NBA season. And don't you worry, here on Wizards Radio 24/7, we are keeping you updated with tons of Wizards content as we zoom through training camp and preseason towards the regular season. But I also want to take a moment to take a look at the league as a whole. And the segment I'm going to bring to you now is the 5 non-Wizards teams that I'm most interested in watching when the 2025-2026 season begins. And I do things a little bit differently here. So title contenders like OKC, Cleveland, New York, and Denver aren't going to be on my list because for the most part, I feel like I know what I'm getting from those teams. I'm much more interested in teams that could potentially get to that level, but have a bit more of a wild card range of outcomes. And so with that, let's get into the list. And checking into the 5th spot, I'm going to go with the Houston Rockets. Any team is made inherently more interesting by adding Kevin Durant to the roster, even at the age of 37, which is exactly what the Houston Rockets did over the summer. And so all of a sudden, there's a dynamite half-court scorer on a team that finished second in the West behind an elite defense, but lost in the first round a season ago because it lacked just that. Amen Thompson is a young star in the making. Alperen Şengün, perhaps already a star. But the news that Fred VanVleet will be out for the season has thrown a wrench into the plans that Houston had after a busy but successful offseason. So will the Rockets put faith in 2024 third overall pick Reed Shepherd to run the show? Does Amen Thompson become the de facto point guard? There's a core and identity in Houston that feels like it should be a contender, but the new questions at point guard make this group an interesting one to watch at the start of the season. In the Eastern Conference, it certainly feels like the biggest wild card is the Philadelphia 76ers. From the 2017-2018 season through the 2023-2024 season, the Sixers had won roughly 60% of their regular season games behind teams led by Joel Embiid. And then all of a sudden last year, after adding Paul George in the offseason, the 76ers fell apart, going 24-58 in a year where Embiid played only 19 games.